First try.
Woo! This meeting is being live streamed. I got it.
Meeting.
Whoa. No whammies. No whammies.
Let's see what we got here. What do we got? Let's see. It's
Okay, we are there.
Oh, look, there you go. Take 20.
Hello, everybody. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. Hope all you is well. Let me just make sure that we're all set here with all the. Hope all you is well.
Is this real life? Bryce wants to know if we're real or if we're Memorex.
No,
No.
I am a cat.
You are.
Welcome to the tail end, as they say, of the Path of the Darksaber series. My name is Spencer. I'm one of your hosts for the evening. I am brought here with a number of our friends. First and foremost, our good friend Mark Van Owen. Mark, how are you?
Everyone, we made it. We're doing it. We're here.
We
F
survived.
it, we're doing it live.
Yes, we're doing it live for the penultimate episode.
Yes. And one of our producers extraordinaires, Mr. Hefe. How are you, Hefe?
Good. Glad we could finally get something working here. It's been an interesting evening.
Yep. And our other producer extraordinaire, Dave. How are you, sir?
Hey, happy to be on here at this point tonight.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, first and foremost, we're still very much deep into celebration stuff. A couple quick plugs. Don't forget, on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, is the Alderaan Idol preview show being hosted by our friends at Skywalking Through Neverland and myself, along with a special appearance by our MC, Kevin Thompson. And very excited about that. A lot of really great stuff on the VCN come up. A lot of new unboxings. John Chiato, man, is coming up with some incredible merchandise for for the VC with the Kyber Crystal and the Savi Saber hilt. What's your thoughts, Dave?
Well, I love it. It's John's videos are always amazing, and John's 3D printing is getting just crazy right there. So love seeing what new things he's inventing and going to keep inventing.
Absolutely. And so with that in mind, why don't we jump into some Path of the Darksaber stuff? So Mark, where are we?
So at the end of last week's episode, the Darksaber was firmly in the hands of Din Djarin after he bested Gideon in one-on-one combat and took it from him. And you might remember that Katie Sackhoff, Bo-Katan, was very upset by this. And the big twist there is that even though Gideon lost that fight with Din, he's the one who gives the exposition explaining to Din that, like, you have to win the Darksaber in combat for it to matter. And that's why Bo-Katan wanted to fight him. And she can't just take it. Din actually said, like, I yield, you can have it. And Bo-Katan refused. That's where we left it. So from there, Din Djarin goes off on his own. Luke Skywalker shows up, picks up Baby Yoda, takes him to Jedi Training Academy. We're going to catch up with him in a little bit. Din goes off on his own with the Darksaber, and Bo-Katan and her crew go their own ways. So the team splits up after having that amazing team up at the end of the season 1 finale. So we're now in the Book of Boba Fett, in an episode that doesn't really feature Boba Fett and is all about the Mandalorian and what his little side adventure is. It will eventually, he'll find his way to Tatooine and Boba and Fennec, but this episode is really all about him, and we're going to see him wield the Darksaber in some brutal ways, in some ways that I don't think it's actually intended to be used. And I think that's part of his growth as a potential ruler, as a potential leader, as like what it means to be a Mandalorian. We're going to see him misuse the Darksaber, and that's going to be an interesting exploration in this episode.
Absolutely. So for those who are playing at home, please queue up Book of Boba Fett. episode 5, which is
Chapter 5.
chapter 5.
Chapter
Yes,
5.
Chapter
five.
five.
Book. Chapter.
Chapter 5. I believe this was the Filoni episode, wasn't it?
Oh, this was Bryce.
Oh,
Dallas
it's Bryce. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're watching Bryce and
Bryce.
and Filoni.
Then
And
Filoni. Yeah.
Okay.
You remember, if there's Ahsoka, Filoni is right there, and we're gonna
Yep.
get Ahsoka in chapter 6 and Luke
And
and all that good stuff.
speaking of Bryce and speaking of Ahsoka, Bryce on her media tour for Jurassic World said that for those who are Rebels fans, Ahsoka is going to be very satisfying.
Rob,
So-
I'm telling you, my show is going to write itself between the Obi-Wan show hitting the airwaves and then the Ahsoka show coming. Like all the ideation that Ashley and I are doing for our new Rebels show, we're just going to have to keep adjusting as new content comes out as well. We've got legacy content and then new content that's feeding into this. So I'm so excited.
Well, since you brought it up, let's talk quickly about Rebels Revisited. How's that shaping up?
It is shaping up, let me tell you. Aside from the fact that it is like 8 weeks away or whatever, less than that, Celebration is 7 weeks away. We've already come up with what we think should be the first episode, which is really like why you should care about Star Wars Rebels. Why do you love Star Wars Rebels? Why do we love Star Wars Rebels? So we're going to do that one as a long form discussion live with all the fans. So we hope you join us. And our little homework assignment, and we'll give this out more formally beforehand, is like, just tell us what you love about Rebels, and we're going to dive into all the different pieces. So very unstructured, very free form. And then after that, we'll get into some like watch-alongs, and we'll probably have to very quickly dive into Obi-Wan, I think within the second or third episode, to be like, hey, what's going on there? We have Grand Inquisitors, we have Inquisitors, we have all sorts of stuff. How does it tie to what happened in the Rebel show? So that's how we think the first 3 episodes or so are going to shake out. And then we've got themes, we've got all sorts of listicles, and people have already sent us ideas. So now we're going into like rank order of like what we want to tackle. So again, if you guys have any ideas, I've gotten a few cool ones already. Send them along.
Awesome. Very, very excited about that. And also for those who have not watched it yet, episode 1 of that Star Wars Funko show is now live on the VCN. And what's the URL for the VCN there, Dave?
www.youtube.com/the Virtual Cantina Network.
And it's one of the fastest rising shows as far as views in opening day that we've had on the VCN. So
Oh,
good
completely.
job to
It
everybody,
is going crazy.
which is fantastic. We're always open for new
Also,
content. So if you guys have ideas for future shows, please let us know. Why don't we just give another 2 minutes or so at that? Mark, we had a slow day as far as announcements concerned, but we had some good names, solid names and returns to Celebration. What do we have on tap?
Yep. And not surprising to see a week that sometimes has a small number of people. Even when I was revealing talent in 2019, 1 week would have 8, and then the next week would have 2. It would come down to like when contracts are signed, when we're ready to reveal, when prices are locked, when the agents are ready for them to have a news beat around them. Obviously, Matt Lanter's probably been in the works for a while, and he was deathly sick as of 2 weeks ago. So he might have been locked in months ago. And then they had to wait until he was like feeling up to it and, being able to like respond to Instagram messages and Twitter and stuff. So not surprising to see a small week. And I bet you more are coming. Spencer and I were talking about this before the show. The deadline for send-ins being so soon, we'd expect there's going to be a big release in the next 2 weeks to hit that like send-in deadline, probably. But
Right.
for this week, for anyone who may have missed it, it was a smaller list this week. Sam Witwer, Matt Lanter, and Katie O'Brien. Sam Witwer, and I actually wanted to pull it also, I didn't miss anything. Sam Witwer's everywhere in Star Wars. Aside from being a super fan and like the most knowledgeable person and a trivia winner and just an awesome guy and a lot of cool, weird, interesting projects outside of Star Wars, he is in your, if you want to do like multi-sign pieces, the Clone Wars, Rebels, Solo, Resistance, which I think a lot of people forget. He's in one episode, and I don't know who's chasing Resistance stuff, but he's in there. And he's also, of course, originally Star Killer. So anything around Star Killer in the game. So he's kind of everywhere. He also plays the Emperor in a lot of video games, and I think in Lego, and I think he even played the Emperor in Rebels before they redubbed it with Ian. Matt Lanter, of course, is Anakin Skywalker. I consider him to be as important as Hayden Christensen. Is why it was so important for me in 2019 for me to get him there. By the way, he's line priced with Ashley. He's $100 also, which we saw at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Yep.
So that price is now the price for Matt Lanter. He's in Clone Wars. He's also in Rebels in a very small way, and he's in The Mandalorian in his live action one episode, which we talked about last week. Yeah, in his slippers, in his delightful slippers. And then Katie O'Brien, who's a first-time signer. So Katie makes 7 on the first-time signer list. I went through the list again. Omid Abtahi, Giancarlo Esposito, Carrie Jones, Carl Weathers, Emily Swallow, Michelle Ang, and Katie O'Brien, who of course all Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett. She plays an Imperial comms officer. She's actually in 4 episodes of Mandalorian season 2. We saw her last week. She's also kind of a stunt actress and does martial arts. I read all about her because I didn't really know much about her background. And she's been in projects that I haven't really watched. Like she's in Black Lightning and she's in Z Nation. So I think that there's definitely a market for her. And it's going to be interesting. And of course, someone great to add to your like multi-sign pieces. So very excited to see Katie. One, another woman signer. There aren't that many. And another new signer. So out of right now, 22, 7 are new. So we're talking about 33%, a third being new signers. That's terrific. So I was very happy with what we saw today.
And we also saw that Michelle Ang went on sale, which I was actually very shocked in the fact that her price was $90.
I did a little digging because I was trying to understand what project supported that price point, right? So is there something outside of Star Wars that I didn't know about? Like Natalia Tena, for example, is huge because of Harry Potter. So if she priced herself at $100, I'd be like, that's Harry Potter, because everyone's going to want her on their big posters. I couldn't find the silver bullet of what was driving the Michelle Ang price. But I think a lot of people are going to pay it anyway because she is the lead in Bad Batch along with Dee. And at the moment, like if you think about who's going to go on that poster between all the guest stars and all the other interesting people returning. Yeah, it's Dee, it's her. Obviously, if you're going to meet Ming-Na Wen, if she ends up going to this show or she's on the convention circuit elsewhere, you'd put her on Mando, Boba, and Bad Batch. Like, you know, that poster would actually come along really nicely on the Bad Batch side. So, and Michelle is only in that. So if you're going to start a project on that, you got to get her.
Yeah. So I just want to remind everybody we're about to start chapter 5 of book of Boba Fett. So does everybody have it all queued up?
All set.
Everybody in the crowd have it queued up. Okay, we're gonna go in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Get it.
I love this episode for a number of reasons, but I think what I like the most about it, and we're going to see it soon, is the return of the Armorer. We've been waiting since season 1 Mandalorian to see Emily Swallow, who is a friend of the group, back.
There's Boba Fett. Just remember that when you watch. He was there. Sorry to interrupt.
There he was. He made it in. And we didn't know if she survived or not. I remember you mentioned a couple episodes ago that it was left up in the air whether she would survive or not. I would like to think that the fans, us and everyone else who loved that character, helped keep her alive. I don't know if we can really take credit for that, or maybe the story really called for it, but I'm glad they kept her around. Like this, they kill a lot of characters with no regard for the way the fans feel about it all the time. But she seemed like someone who resonated instantly with the fan base when Mando first came out.
Oh, for sure.
And she's if anybody's met her at any of the cons, she's absolutely delightful. Okay, now here's the thing: is total spaghetti western. You get the silhouette of the antagonist, and then you get the
I just wanted to cut through that.
Yeah, but you get the the Mandalorian version of the.
Yeah,
Right.
and the swinging saloon doors.
Yep.
Yep. I
So
love
what
that it
kind
has
of
the big
animal
stick
is this
too.
supposed to be? It's hanging. Sides of what? Sides
I
of
don't know.
tauntaun?
I don't know, but I still think that someone should superimpose Rocky training in there with Paulie, like
background.
in the background.
Reed Carga in there.
Carl
come
Weathers pops in.
Hey,
on. Bryce is looking for a timestamp. We're at about 2:11, Bryce.
Yep, 213, 14, 15.
I need to do a better job keeping an eye on the live chat. I just forget because I'm watching the show. I'm looking at you guys. It's hard to balance. I gotta definitely do better than that when we're gonna do our own live shows. Like keep an eye out.
right.
Yeah, well, part of my job will be to monitor that, so feed you stuff in another way. So we'll
Excellent.
see.
We'll figure it out. We'll make it work. I gotta say, everyone's very forgiving about like tech issues and whatever else. This is a nice part of the fandom. And you see a lot of the bad stuff on Twitter, like just in the general.
Oh, we
range.
had
This is
some
a
of it
great
today.
group.
We
Oh,
had
yeah.
we had some of it today in the group.
Gotta weed
Unfortunately,
that
that we
out.
were trying to weed that out when they announced, the fact that now people can come in if they have a recent test, and all the people who sold their tickets in the last 2 weeks are now like flipping out.
All butt hurt, as it were.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, look, these are unprecedented times, and I hate to even say it out loud because it sounds so cheesy, but the things are going to shift. I mean, I think we're going to be back in mask mandates in New York City in a matter of weeks. Like the cases are back up again. They're not hospitalizing or killing people the way it used to, but we're still spreading, and people who've had COVID are getting it again. So I think we're going to go back to that.
Yeah, there's rumblings around here in LA that could probably be back, but we'll see. They also extended something that they were going to cut off sooner that now is like 2 weeks longer in terms of masks or something. I forget what it was, but
Yeah, I saw that.
Our big-
that
There
which
it
I was-
is.
Oh, I bring you in warm or bring you in cold.
So Jacob, I did not get that new pop yet.
wow.
Oh, he's swinging that pretty crazy initially.
got
and
it
then
So
all of a
here we
sudden
around
go.
over
Here's the
here.
Darksaber.
There
This
drug
is-
on the ground. Ooh, stabby stab. Oh,
Oh,
There you go.
They cuts
there you
himself.
go.
Oh, there we
That's
go.
what
Yeah.
we would all do with a
Shades of the-
lightsaber.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be
there it
legless
is.
and headless in moment of seconds.
Oh, I'd be dead in the gutter instantly. I've already figured that out. Like, I'm gonna have to go work in the library
This is
at
brutal.
the Jedi
Like you
Academy.
said, that is
Yeah.
extremely brutal. This is like the most hardcore
Yeah.
elements of this entire series. So
Look
far.
at that. What is this rated?
Yes, this is on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Remember when the
That's
opening
open.
scene happened and they closed the door and chopped that guy in half and
Yeah.
people were horrified?
That's
That is
season
like
one.
kid stuff compared to this.
Oh yeah, and even like the arm getting pulled off by BK in the
Oh, yeah.
in what's her face's place.
Now here's the thing: is you
I
got
didn't really show anything when it came to that.
the cartoonian's head in the bag. Do you think it's cauterized? Is that why it's not bleeding through the bag?
But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it looked like it might have
Well,
dripped
Alright,
or
it's
something.
Of course it is.
I do like this. He understands economics. He's like, you guys can go take the means of production now that I've killed your owner. I got no problem with you. Also, I'm just going to hobble away slowly.
I
Okay.
love
So,
the fact that some have ski caps and some of them are wearing scally caps. I think that's just awesome. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Very
Their
The-
hats are awesome.
Space Boston.
The
and
sweaters
Cannon.
and overalls and stuff that have made it into the show that's like very American Eagle or whatever. Like, I can't help
Right.
think like the episode with the calamari and the sweater is still my
Oh,
favorite thing.
JC
JT
Penney
Petty.
special.
Yeah. Okay. So that opening scene, you saw him use the Darksaber for bounty hunting. Like, this is a bounty. He's going out to make money, and he's using the weapon that was wielded by the rulers of Mandalore, the most important weapon that symbolizes their entire society. And he's out here, like, not even a crime boss, a crime foot soldier, like just running out, like, working for like the bad cops. Like this is an abomination of how to use the Darksaber. And he swings it wildly and cuts that dude in half. Like it's just
Skewers one
it's not
guy.
an all elegant.
Yeah. and drags it on the ground, although that can be cool. But in this case, it was not, I don't think, intentional.
So as we return to Halo,
What's so
This
weird
was
about
really
this
cool,
is
this
how
little
quickly
planet
it
place.
moves. The sun moves too fast for my tastes. It's like, wouldn't you want to be in the sun or in the dark for a little bit longer period of time?
If this is man-made, it feels really quick.
Yeah.
This is the scene where Chris Bartlett.
Yeah.
Is in,
Chris.
right?
that's Chris right there.
Yep.
And
You
with
never
him-
know it. They keep covering his face.
Well,
So
he was
angry.
excited about not playing a droid,
Droid.
but he
Yeah.
did say that this mask was from a character in The Last Jedi, and it was just a new costume.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I'd have to look it up because there's so many background aliens that are thrown into these movies, and sometimes I know them if we're able to get like an autograph signer attached to them. I was like, oh, I know that dude.
Right.
But there are just so many thrown in. We got to get
yeah.
Chris on, like, I want speak in line, see his face. Like, he's great. Like, I don't know what Star
Yep.
Wars is doing, like putting him behind all these masks.
Well, they can use him more that way. They put his face on, and he's.
Yep. No, yeah, no. I mean, there's a whole cottage industry to being in the droid and creature shop, and I'm sure he will work continuously because of that.
Oh, yeah. He's very prolific in these recent series for sure.
He's been
One
in
thing-
as many episodes as like any of the supporting characters. I think he had like 5 episodes credited in season 1. Like, it was a good number.
He's
Well, here's the
probably
thing is
been in the book of Boba Fett more than Boba Fett.
Oh, that's true.
Well, here the thing with Chris is that because he's in plays so many characters, and if you're thinking about doing like cast pieces, and you're always wondering, well, maybe do I need to put this person? Is this person worth putting in there? Like, I know, for example, I'm doing several different season 1 Mando, season 2, and a Fett one, and honestly, because the amount of times Chris is in every single season, even if it's full characters, his name is easily on the list of
Oh, yeah.
ones that needs to be on that post.
Oh yeah. He makes it into all 3. Misty Roses makes
Yep.
it into all of them.
And I love how, like, seemingly small role characters of his, become just.
Yep. Yeah, there's Zero. I
Right
can't believe he
there.
has a Black Series figure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The Black
I
Series
remember
got
when we were
Funko.
doing our autograph list for Mando season 1, and we found him because he was able to sign for him, and I think not the ferryman. Did he play him? No, he
Yeah,
had
he played the
someone
ferryman.
else.
He was the
Was it the
guy
ferryman?
at the
Ferryman?
dock. He
Yeah.
was the long snoot or whatever.
Yes. That
at the
that was the
dock.
first one we got him for, and then Zero came up in the Prison Break episode with Matt Lanter. So
Yep.
we were then able to split him into 2 characters for that set. And then I know he came back for the season 2 set also. Yeah, so Chris Bartlett autographs, if you look on Topps Cards on eBay, he should have 3 different characters that he signed for at this point. And more to come, I'm sure.
He has the droid. How many droids in Book of Boba Fett?
Well, he was the server droid, and then he was a crossing guard droid,
Yeah.
which he did show us the helmet for when he came on our show, which was pretty awesome.
Very cool.
They have to announce him for Celebration. That'd be a big miss if they didn't have him.
This entire level of this sphere ring, this seems it's Star Wars has no OSHA. There is no OSHA here.
It's just, yeah.
It
Confirmed.
really is ridiculous. You just trip and fall into like the depths of space. This was very exciting to see her over here, though.
Yes.
Just sort of meditating or whatever she's doing.
We talked about this several times. We need a fight between her and Bo-Katan.
Hopefully that's coming.
Something's gonna go down. There will at least be harsh language.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
someone's gonna say Dank Ferrick.
That's right.
I love that heavy gunner armor.
His armor
So
is
Tate is
intense.
awesome.
Yeah.
Even his Black Series is a big ass
he's
box.
hefty.
Like it's size
It's a
Black Series.
hunk of plastic. Yeah.
Like, why doesn't Din carry the little spray stuff? This is like
Yeah.
the second
think-
time that
I think he
can
would
you
have
not
used it
pick
by
that up
now.
at a drugstore in Star Wars or something.
I don't know, but
Oh, here we go.
So everybody else
but
gets
the other
to
thing
play
that
with it.
the other thing that bothers me is that after, if you watch or you're looking towards Din Djarin's leg, is not only is his leg healed, but so is his pants. It's sewn up.
It's good stuff.
It's really good. vodka.
It's that good. So this is
Like
interesting. He hands it to
it's like
Paz. Paz is
The
walking
Aqua
with
4
it.
of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, no, it's like the WD-40. Just fixes everything. They have no problem touching this thing. Paz Vizsla. All right, do you think that the armorer asked Paz to bring it over, knowing that if he touched that thing, he's going to be like, "This belongs to my family"? She knew what that was.
The way he
Like,
looked at it
she's
before he
sowing
grabbed it.
conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no
She's
doubt in my mind about that.
stirring up some drama. If it-
One warrior will defeat 20, and the multitudes will fall before it. There's the curse. Just like Grogu.
Yep, Mandalorian and a Jedi.
More and more, it's pointing to him.
It really is.
It's interesting.
I like
how
the
much-
fact that as much as she is a religious nut and zealot, she immediately is like, "Oh, you rule Mandalore now because you did it by the rules, and I'm in." Even though she's very much his boss, like, you know, she's all good with it, and she helps him train. Like, she's a nightmare in like a million ways, but like she's in on this, and I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
And he's still subservient to her.
maybe she's
Which,
thinking like,
yeah.
I got my way in. I don't, because do you want to rule Mandalore? I sure don't. That sounds like a lot of work. But if you're her and you're just in his ear and he's doing all the ruling and you get to just do what you want, like that
Right.
sounds way better. Do you want to be Jabba or do you want to be Bib Fortuna? Like,
Right.
yeah,
But oh, Macbeth sort of. If you're thinking about Bill Shakespeare.
Well, but
Okay, here's the
missile-
other faux pas.
Go ahead.
The fact that the armorer had her tools in the beginning,
I
and
brought
now-
that up when we
now
watched
she
this.
goes into her, her chest and
She
pulls
puts
them
them
back
down.
out. It's like,
Well, that was the
Continuity.
everyday hammer, and this is the Sunday dress hammer.
There you go.
yes.
She had him when he came up. She put him down, picked up the Darksaber, walked over to him, went to the cabinet, and got a new set. But whatever. We're
So
not
that Mandalore
nitpicky.
steel is meant for
Take your plot
armor,
holes
not
elsewhere.
Yeah. I would never have picked up on that edit, like that miss, but and obviously
Caught
the
it
editor missed it
first time I
too.
watched it. I was like, wait a second, she had those earlier. I had to
okay,
rewind.
and here's the other thing that pissed us off several times. She's talking about you can't have Beskar weapons, and
Whistling
out of
birds.
Beskar.
Oh, all right, here she goes, saying her piece about Bo-Katan.
Mhm.
Gonna send this to Katie.
Throwing that shade.
They've
Like
never been in a convention together, have they, Katie and Emily?
Uh,
I'm not sure.
Because they obviously haven't met in the show yet. But like, I'm curious to see if they've ever done a convention together. Because I'm sure the fans would go nuts if they just showed up on stage
no,
together.
they have. I don't think they
I
have.
haven't seen
I don't
them
think they have
at
because
one
usually
together.
Emily is
It would probably be
But I've not
a
seen them
big deal to
together.
be made out of it.
Yeah, I would think.
Okay,
Ooh,
Night of the Thousand Tears, the live action version of this. I mean, we always say that this is Judgment Day from Terminator,
mhm.
but this
Yeah.
is just so
Turns
awesome.
into it.
It's so well done. It's heartbreaking, obviously, but this is
Yeah.
killer.
Hardcore
mean-
too. Look at that. That's totally Selakana seeing the apocalypse.
So I was
Look at
going
that.
back through a few of the characters that pop in through Mando seasons 1 and 2. There are a lot of endangered species throughout Star Wars. Like the Empire is like basically all about genocide. I mean, this is like probably the clearest visual you see of it, where they like destroy this place, because the Mandalorians are scattered to the wind. But like the Jedi are an endangered species. They were all wiped out. Frog Lady is supposedly an endangered species. Like the Tuskens have been sort of wiped out as much as possible. Like there's a lot of that. Alderaan was fully blown up, right? We think at this point, like Cara Dune is the only living Alderaanian you would know, other than if you count Ben Solo. Like this is it's an interesting thread, and I'm curious to see if at some point like these groups band together to go up against like the Empire in some form. They all seem to have similar situations and needs.
Kind of talking about the plot to Rebels.
Yeah, a little bit of that for sure.
It's a bunch of species that are being oppressed by the Empire, banding together on one little ship.
Yep, Zeb thought his whole species was wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
A ragtag group that drives around in a black van with a red stripe on it. No, sorry, that's the 18.
If you can find them, maybe you can hire.
Rebel.
So Firefly was always compared to A-Team, and then Rebels was always compared to Firefly. So that jump is not that crazy. Yeah. Oh my God, this tiny armor with the little bow that looks like Baby Yoda. I screamed. I was like, oh my God, it's armor. Little baby.
Well, you could see her making
Yoda.
the rings. They gave it away that it was going to be chainmail.
Yeah, very cute.
This
is cool. Like in theory, she could easily take this from him and be the ruler of Mandalore, and then she could fight Bo. Like, but she's not gonna. Like,
the benefit of jetpacks in precarious situations.
What if it just didn't work?
Standard issue.
Like,
we have
tech fail on us every day. Like, this is my jetpack didn't work today. Oh, I fell into the void of space.
Yep. Hopefully his helmet's airtight and has some.
This goes back to this.
It's obviously not from the water.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of inconsistencies, and I don't know.
I think we talked about several times, but the one thing I think we want is in the battle of Bo versus the armorer, that Bo gets her helmet off.
Yeah, without a doubt. She has to smack it right off and tell her she's not a Mandalorian. Or tell her you're still a Mandalorian. That would be the better answer. You're still a Mandalorian. Like, or we're all the same people.
Or Bo bitch slaps it right off. They're staying over. It's like, you're no longer a Mandalorian. And then Din Djarin's over her shoulder and goes, bitch. That'd be awesome.
I am curious to see how. Can you imagine if you're Din and those two fight, right? Like you've teamed up with Bo, he helped save the day. She protected Baby Yoda. The armor has been your go-to person for years now. Like if you watch them fight, and you're supposed to stand there on the side and not involve yourself, but like, how do you feel about that? That would be a tough moment for him to watch the two of them fight, two people he respects tremendously. And potentially, they would go to kill. They would fight to the death, those two. Like neither one of them would let up. Like neither one of them are,
It would almost be like, in Jedi when Vader is watching the Emperor trying to kill Luke. It's kind of, where's his loyalty at that point? Is it with his son or is it with his master? Well, Star Wars is all reoccurring themes anyway.
It all rhymes.
Oh, standoff. Oh, they're gonna take off their jetpacks in case they fall. They're gonna die.
Lisa gonna die.
You sub Mando's gonna die.
We are at 21:45, peeps.
Start of the duel. So House Vizsla, the only surviving member of House Vizsla, probably, right? Versus the current wielder of the Darksaber.
Love that shield.
I still call it the Ruby's
Captain America.
American shield.
We have various sizes. We don't just have a sad small one. There's also a full size one.
It's so cute.
It's real. It is ridiculous. I mean, I don't know who thought the frisbee was the right answer, but
Right.
I do like this little shield though. This is cool. The in-universe version that they're doing. That sad little knife though is like, I mean, get yourself a sword. I don't know why he doesn't have like a long blade also.
Right. Or something intermediate blade.
Yeah, because the Darksaber is pretty long, but like, yeah, there's got to be something between a knife and the Darksaber. Like, there's a medium size. Yeah.
Now I know Tate is the
Stabby.
Oh, there you go.
the actor inside the voice for this one as well. I know he was in season 1.
Still Favreau.
Did he voice season? I wonder if it's still Favreau,
I'm pretty sure it is.
because Favreau did the voice in Clone Wars as well for Paz Vizsla.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, for pre-Vizsla.
Yeah, not Paz. Yeah, pre.
Yeah.
Paz is this guy.
Yeah.
Does it he definitely did it in season 1, and I'm pretty sure he still does it. I wouldn't see why they would change it.
Dinjarin, did you remove your helmet? Cricket. Define remove helmet.
Fine helmet.
Numerous times. I thought about you every time.
Like, where did this creed vow go? Is, we ask that every time we fight somebody. We have to.
Yeah, like all of a sudden it's like the go-to question. Here's a set question that's always asked at this point. You're no longer a Mandalorian. You're a Mandalorian.
I was so happy to get that signed.
How can I atone? I'd be like, screw you, lady. I'm out of here. I'm gonna stab you, and then I'm gonna stab her.
I love the memes of that came out after this whole scenario with, to atone, you have to go into the rivers underneath the mines, and all of a sudden you get Purple Rain memes of you have to atone in the Lake of Minnewaca. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Yeah, I think we just kind of like skipped over the thing where it says the rise of the mythosaur is way back. I interpret that as who wears the mythosaur on their shoulder.
No, I want full real mythosaur.
Boba.
I also think we're going to end up seeing this baptism in the water of Mandalore, because you know how some people think the planet's like fully burnt up and it's a curse and it's
There's gotta be something
whatever.
We're
going to get like a real spiritual churchy moment where they're going to baptize people in actual water, and there's going to be a full-size mythosaur. We already saw Boba Fett ride Rancor. Yeah, it's happening. I mean, they put that section of the animated special up from the Christmas special, right? Like it's gonna happen. They were like, everyone needs to see what a mythosaur is.
And
So-
that's where you bring in Christopher Lloyd as like a guardian underneath by the water. Like he's the guy who
mythosaur rank.
was the gondola.
Oh.
This kills me with him traveling commercial. So it's the kind of humor that's just like, it's so perfect because this is exactly what would happen. You'd have to
TSA
check all your weapons.
And also right there, you got a Rex droid.
Yeah.
Old Star Tours.
But again, they're highly like selective. It's like, oh, okay, I gotta put like the guns in there, but anybody, the knives, yeah, he's got the whistling birds. You can just empty those out. What? I don't know.
A lot of weird,
odd
little guns.
But like he doesn't take off the gauntlets, right? And Oh, okay. I didn't catch that one before. He like unspools the little
Yeah.
tether thing.
Does he have
This
like a
is
gas
crazy.
tank for the flamethrower that he removed? Because he would
Right,
still have
yeah.
that.
Well, there is something similar like this if you watched Pirates of the Caribbean
Still got his
from
jetpack.
Stranger Tides.
Oh, I
Uh,
was thinking like Police Academy.
we mean the Police Academy 2 with Tackleberry and Kathleen Kirkland.
Yes.
Oh,
So that
Eugene.
RX droid in Rebels is voiced by Paul Rubens, aka Pee Wee Herman.
Well,
And I was able to secure him as an autograph signer while I was there at Tops. And I met him in person and did a private signing with him for Authentics. He was awesome. And just I told him every year that we watch the Pee Wee Herman Christmas special around Christmas time because it is just bonkers good. Like Cher is in it, and
Right.
like all of these random guest stars that pop in, Joan Rivers and Oprah Winfrey, and like it just goes on and on. I highly recommend Grace Jones pops up. Like it's so nuts and so weird and such a moment in time. And he's just delightful. By the way, if you got a chance to see Paul Rubens at a convention, do it.
Missed opportunity when they had Sarah Michelle Gellar in 2017 was to bring in Paul Rubens, and you can have a crossover Buffy because I know it's Christy Swanson, but
Yeah, I'm sure they.
I know.
I don't know what she's up to, but nothing good. I'm not Sarah Michelle. Christy Swanson. Sarah Michelle Gellar was just her birthday the other day.
Yep.
Yeah,
She's terrific. I got to. So in 2017, the show we were able to bring her to. There's not a lot of great things to say about the execution on 2017. I'm aware, but Sarah Michelle had a really good convention. Freddie had a great time too, and we needed extra help, as you might have known. I enlisted my poor husband to go be a talent wrangler for like the day. He didn't get to do anything at the show except work, but he got to manage Sarah Michelle. So that's a moment in time, and he was like walking around with her the whole day and did her private signing and was with her at the table. And of course, like
BD.
Freddie was right next to her. So he just popped in constantly as well.
Nice.
Oh, there's BD.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just got snatched by a
so much
womp rat.
fun. So I don't think that's BD1 from Jedi Fallen Order, but it's clearly the same make and model,
droid,
which is
definitely.
obviously intentional. They're planting these
Yes.
little seeds to the thought
I
where it's
th-
like, if we
I
don't see
think we're
Cal
going to see Cal
Kestis and
Kestis.
Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
he was at Galaxy's Edge in like full Cal Kestis drag. Like I was like, this is not what Cameron
Cal
Monaghan
Kestis
looks
bounding.
like. Yeah. I was like, you don't look like that, Cameron Monaghan. That's what the character looks like. What's happening here? I know they revealed his lightsaber, which, by the way, is suspicious that one won in the poll. Like, I was like, there's a lot of stuff that I have
Ezra.
questions about.
Sabers that I would have thought.
Ezra Saber.
Yeah. I know. Where the hell's the Ezra Saber? I'm still mad, but I guess it's not going to function as a blaster, and maybe it's just way too expensive, but like, we need that.
So it's very funny that you have the scene is very much like Jurassic Park. You go behind something, get pulled. So the fact it's Bryce as well is pretty funny.
Oh yeah. Mm.
Oh, it has that kind of, yeah, that's true. She's crossing over.
Mhm.
Working with Laura Dern, who's also in Star Wars.
Yep.
So I love Amy Sedaris. I know we talked about her last week.
She needs to be
I forgot
signed.
so I hope she comes to Celebration or does the convention circuit at all. She did sign for Tops. I was looking on eBay. I didn't realize she had signed for something recently. It was either Stellar or Masterwork. I don't think she was in Mando season 2, but they've now secured her as a signer. So potential for every collector out there. And by the way, her cards were booking on the secondary market. I didn't see anything under $100 for her card. So either she signed a very small quantity, or people understand that Amy Sedaris is Amy Sedaris, not just this like, or they fell in love with this character. But like, yeah, I'm thrilled that she's part of that group because I have to get one for my collection now. I have to like buy one on eBay.
She does.
It
It
never ends.
too.
Oh,
I got her season 1.
Very cool.
Nice.
Now, I really hope they bring her to Celebration. That would be awesome.
We've
Okay,
had a couple. We had a couple posts with that, with people saying Amy Sedaris as something that people want to see. But yes, the new
Without a
Naboo Starfighter.
For all
This
the
is
prequel
amazing.
fans,
Great
for all the
reveal.
kids that grew up with the prequels and felt like they were constantly neglected And I think in some ways too, with the new trilogy, it paid so much attention to the classic trilogy and not the prequels, almost went out of its
totally.
way to like not talk about prequels. Mando is like leaning in. We talk about M count. We see the Starfighter. We're back on Tatooine. Like we're doing all these things that like they're bringing. Book of Boba Fett has Daniel Logan in it. Like they are
Droids.
feeding the prequel kids.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about this after 20, you did, and they did it right, and you guys did it right in 2019, is that the kids of the prequels are all parents now. So you were, you did the fact you got Ahmed there and he got the standing ovation. I mean, the next biggest one you would have gotten if you were able to get it would have been Jake.
Yeah.
If he was up to it. I mean, but the thing is that this is the time of the prequel kids. And Ewan's had a lot of press lately saying that he's loving all the love the prequels are getting lately because he feels vindicated from, all the crap that him and Hayden took 20 some odd years ago.
They're certainly getting a reevaluation, and the kids who grew up with it understand it for what it was. It was made for kids. And that's how you sort of have to go into that with, but also like having the Clone Wars and Rebels build upon the lore of the prequels have almost elevated those movies. It helps to have Matt and James and Ashley like creating these excellent characters and stories that fit between the movies that build out that whole time period. And it's sort of I like all the waters rise together essentially. But this was so cool just to see this ship like done in a practical way. Like they're building it in front of us and we're going to see all these things come together. Because I think one of the big criticisms of the prequels was that it was largely CG animation, right? And now it's like, those are props. Like they're building this ship with a bunch of parts, like on a soundstage. Like it's incredible.
I keep on saying, we said this when we watched this with Chris Bartlett, there should have been like a 80s montage of them. Like they have a boombox and they
working and playing music.
Almost like in Better Off Dead when John Cusack and Diane Franklin are rebuilding the Camaro, and you hear the A's rock music playing, and it's
Or almost when Mark Hamill builds a Corvette.
That's true. Corvette
over the summer.
Over the summer, that's right. Oh.
Also, this is where we find out that Pelly has dated a Jawa.
And they're furry.
Thing. Yeah.
I let them pick through the dumpster.
Quite furry, very furry.
They're very furry. And look, only Amy Sedaris could deliver this kind of dialogue without it. Like it's ridiculous, but like she makes it work.
We were wondering if the Jawa escape after that one. We're like, and that's Leilani and Ariel Shu.
Oh, it's both of them? That's awesome.
The one that's talking is the taller one is Leilani.
I'm looking forward to meeting them at Celebration.
And you can meet them.
They were great guests on your show.
And you can meet them at the Bunta Eve Cantina on the 25th of May. And Leilani is going to be one of the judges at Alderaan Idol.
Oh, is who's the other judge? Gecko.
Eric Walker and Dominic Pace.
Dominic, yes. Oh, and Eric too. Oh, yeah. Awesome. You got a celebrity panel right there. That's your American Idol lineup.
And being emceed by Kevin Thompson.
Oh, he's a good
Ewok
host.
Extraordinaire.
Yeah, Kevin Thompson's fantastic. I've seen him host before.
Yeah, so he's gonna be absolutely fantastic.
And he has the book, the autobiography that's going to be out. Yeah,
yes,
I got to get that.
So he'll have that there, and he'll be signing that. Just for a reminder, everybody there it is. There's the book. You can order Kevin's book online right now at Amazon right now. He's recommending that people pre-order because they only have a limited amount of copies with them at the event. And just to let you know, even though Kevin's going to be on the floor at Celebration, he will sign at Bunta Eve. He can only sign his book, our poster, and any non-Star Wars item, meaning Blade Runner, Weird Science, Garbage Pail Kids, Always Sunny, because he can only sign licensed Star Wars stuff on his table at
Celebration.
at his booth.
That's great that he's able to go to Celebration and be on the floor. That's terrific.
It's awesome that he was invited. That's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
cool. And it's timely having him be in at least one episode of Obi-Wan
Kenobi.
Kenobi.
Oh, yeah, that's all. I can't wait to see the look and feel of that show, the expanded list of characters, because we already know a decent amount. And I feel like there's so many more secrets that are going to be revealed, and it's 2 episodes. Where the new rock stars and all the other breakdown videos, they're going to lose their mind that weekend with like 2 full hours of content. Those poor guys, Ryan Airy and all of them, I don't know how they're going to make it.
What's the theory?
probably gonna
do?
be a
He's probably gonna be
celebration,
there and be
too.
freaking out.
Yeah.
Oh, I would
What's
think,
Mike
yeah, I
Zero
didn't
gonna do?
think-
Hopefully
I don't know,
not
he's
a
gonna
lot.
fire Kathleen. It's look, there are always people who are gonna get use negativity for clicks. Like I prefer the Star Wars Explains of the world. Like those guys love the saga and they have good things to say and they're super informative too. I think I've said this before that I go to them for my first batch of info, especially if I don't see something on Wookiee. Like I go to Star Wars Explained. Molly and Alex are just terrific.
I love this reference.
And here's a question for everybody: where have we seen this pipe before?
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
I know where it is. Do we want to get someone in the chat to give us the answer
Yeah.
before we confirm? If you're in the chat, where have you seen that poll?
Jacob, wait, you only use 0 for your Star Wars news? Just leave me.
We know that that's a troll. Yeah.
Oh,
The
awesome.
garbage.
The
Austin
garbage.
Fretz.
Very good,
Yep.
sir.
Good call.
10 points for Gryffindor.
Oh, mixing your metaphors
score.
again.
I'm crossing the streams, as they say.
Trash compactor. Jacob got it also. Yep. Garbage chute. Sherry.
Yeah.
Yep. Trash compactor. Jennifer. All right. Everyone knows it. All right. We're not that special, apparently. Well, good work, everyone. So.
No, I'm glad that you guys know your
Shiny.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
This is
Jonathan is
Great
asking if
time.
I'll be at Bunta. Yes, I'm going to every after party that Virtual Cantina will have me at. I'm part of. I'm in it now. I was a guest star, and now I'm like on the. I'll say air quotes payroll because I have a show coming up. But like I'm going to be there. I obviously have work. I'll be on the floor throughout the day, and I'm going to work with these guys
Well,
to figure
join
out how
me.
to get Virtual Cantina to our booth to do like recording and interviews and stuff like that. But yeah, for Bunta Eve, I'll definitely be there because I should be arriving Tuesday morning to Celebration. So I'll be in town as of Tuesday, like probably middle of the day. And I'll go to all the stuff. So whatever you have
Yeah.
planned.
Well, here's something even
Yeah.
better about that, which I don't
We're
know if you
starting
saw
Tuesday.
that or not. But Dave, now that you guys are able to do something, why don't you plug it?
Oh yeah, we will totally be able to, and we will go through any content and show any live videos that Mark will allow us to show.
Excellent.
We have
Live
a
from
lot
the
of
show
things
floor.
planned live from the show floor.
We have
Amazing.
1,000
Bro.
subscribers, everybody, so we
Yeah,
can
we
go
broke the
live
magic
on
We're
number.
almost
YouTube from our
to like
phones.
1,050, I believe. Where are we
I
at?
saw that. That's very cool. Well, so not to mix too much business as the episode is playing, but yeah, I'd love to have you guys come and like look at some helmets. I might be wearing a costume. I'm actually going to try to get some people to wear a costume on the floor and you could model it. So yeah, Jeff, maybe we'll do it for you. Like if you're willing to put on like an Imperial officer uniform or something,
No,
that's
don't.
we're looking at that.
Shield. That's cool.
Yeah. So because I want to get like really in the hands of people and people who know their stuff. So you guys are big Star Wars fans. You have a network of fans who care about this stuff. Like I'd rather someone, other than me, like not hawk the product, but explain like this is what it looks like. This is what I'm seeing. Like that goes a long way.
Right.
And I know a lot of the community here is asking questions about like the products that we're launching. We have so much coming up.
Like
video
if you
walk would be
happen
fun.
to, I know it's the celebration, but if you have that product that launched on Monday,
Yes. Oh my God. We can't bring that to the booth, but yeah, I'm excited to finally reveal that. I mean, it's been out since Monday now, the Batman, but
just
good
have
stuff.
one under the table.
Yeah.
We can make it swarzy.
Yeah.
We'll put some Greeblies
Yeah.
on. It'll be fine.
We've only printed our test prints so far, and that one you saw photograph. So I guess we have a couple pre-pro sitting around, but like obviously we're gonna do the full run. for Q3 delivery, as it says, but they look really good. Like the original piece is crazy, and obviously it's like 40 years old at this point ish. 30 years old. Yeah, 30 years old plus.
Yeah, 30,
So
right?
and we were
30.
capturing like all the
33.
nicks and cuts and uneven components to it, like digitally scanned, all that stuff. So
Awesome.
all right,
This
so
is
back to the
amazing.
episode. He's flying in on episode 1 ship. Like, this is crazy.
And
Like,
look
I did
where
not
he's
see this coming.
Yeah, where he
Yeah.
ends up right here.
We are pod racing. Like, this is so nuts. Like, did any of you see this coming as like, one, we're in the book of Boba Fett and we haven't seen Boba Fett. 2, it's a full-on Mandalorian episode, and Amy Sedaris is going to build you a ship straight out of the Phantom Menace. Like, it feels like a Mad Libs come to life.
And you're
The
doing
hot rod version of Phantom
and you're
Menace.
doing the Boon to Eve classic route right now.
Yeah.
Right, you are.
Getting ready to
Right
go
there
to
in Beggars Canyon, do we got a womp rat coming up here?
We got one.
Past the ramp that
we get the ramp, and
Anakin
you
flew
also,
off of.
if you look on the left side of the wall when you go right there, it's like they built more condominiums on this, into the rock.
Oh yeah.
More womp rats. Wow.
Prime real estate people.
Oh, I didn't notice that. You're right. They like built houses into the. All right.
It was stuff there, but there wasn't as much.
It's like what, press boxes or something. Yeah, there's their luxury boxes.
Right.
Yeah. Austin is asking a very good question in the chat. How does he bounty hunt in something like this? Because remember, the Razor Crest was blown up. We saw it happen in the episode we were watching. The Razor Crest had like a portable carbonite machine to like freeze people and all the storage space, and he stored all of his weapons. And this thing is almost like having a motorcycle when he used to live in like an RV. Like, it is a very different traveling experience. I think it's not meant for bounty hunting, and it's sort of an indication that he's not going to continue down that route, right? Like, he's deciding that I'm going to go pick up Baby Yoda, which that little bubble is like perfectly suited for, although like flying through space is like that little piece of plastic isn't protecting nothing. We'll pretend in the Star Wars universe that the physics behind this piece of glass works. But like, there isn't room to bounty hunt in this. I think this is an indication that bounty hunting is over. He'll still get pulled over by the police, obviously, because he can't not do crime.
But I mean, it means like, how did he bounty hunt at the beginning of this episode though? He's just carrying a bag with a head in it. So presumably
for a
he
second.
flew commercial.
There's my other husband.
Mark, you got some. Yeah, I was going to say you got some drool.
He better be there. I'm going to be very upset if Max is not there at.
You're going to hone in from the other side of the convention hall.
Like, exactly. I'm telling you. I will see him from across the room. I want to do that helmet, by the way. Like, the helmet is super clean and nice.
Yeah.
And we do everything we do at Denuo is very like battle damaged, and it's got wear and tear. This is like day one rookie, like, freshly polished, bright, beautiful blue, and like that sort of faded orange, like straight out of the Rebellion orange, right? Like, not even New Republic or whatever. That is a gorgeous
Celebration needs Paulie to show up.
Oh, Paul's awesome, by the way. And he is a customer of ours, which I only found out recently. So he has our Mandalorian helmet, and he's apparently very happy with it, which is good. We wouldn't want him not being happy with it, but I would love for him to be like, if we can just retool the Rangers show around him and Max, like, there's a story there.
A buddy cop show.
Yeah.
I love that, him just hitting the booster and taking off.
Yeah, it's like, out of here.
He's like, do you want to fill out the paperwork? You forgot to file your paperwork.
So I remember in Clone Wars when they had to have that ring, to make the jump. And she was saying earlier, you don't need a ring to jump. So it's a nice build.
And here's another reference coming up right now about prequel stuff. How did it fly?
How was it?
Wizard.
Justice for Kitster. Justice for Kitster. But yeah, I mean, besides like Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett stuff that Paulie would sign, I'm sure people would show up with like Kim's Convenience and like other stuff for him as well.
Oh, for
people.
sure.
Oh, he just won the Emmy, didn't he? Or not the Emmy? He won something. There was a big award show
There she is.
a week ago or whatever, and he just won. Oh, there's Fennec. Oh, look, we're back to the Boba Fett show, sort of.
Oh yes. Oh, we remember
Halfway,
that part.
halfway to the
That's
Boba Fett show.
Hitster
think
is how
it's-
Palpatine returned.
I think it's okay. Like, it's just weird that it continues next episode as well. Like a one-off. But like they could have, this is what I mean about the editing. So I think we talked about this last week, that I think the biggest problem with the Book of Boba Fett is the editing. And people felt that it was jarring to go between like the back to tank and like the time period jumping. And then this episode is a full side quest without him. And then, by the way, it continues into the next episode.
Right.
You can piece these, you can
Which we'll
flow
be
these
watching.
things in. We could have had like an episode where this was cut in half and there was a story concurrently with Boba, and then they meet, and maybe this was a 3-episode experience where like Mando and Boba were then eventually going to find each other while they had parallel experiences. That would have been fine, but like not having him in the episode was really weird. Like it's a great episode and love him, but like love Mando.
Tim guys payday in the replay at the beginning of the recap.
Recap.
Yeah.
Well, and it's really weird now. I'm sitting here watching the art at the end with the Boba Fett music instead of the Mando music, and I'm just like,
Right.
this is just weird.
And it's all
Strange.
Mando shots.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
You almost wonder if they were filming Mando season 3, realized they needed to put this in with Boba because it's been so long, right? Like Mando it'll be 2 years from season 2 to season 3 because of this big gap from Boba happening. Did they felt like they needed to keep him relevant, keep baby Grogu in like the minds of people?
Marketing.
Yeah,
So-
it's possible.
So, I mean, I brought this up several times before, and it still bugs me to know when. So we have on Thursday at Celebration, basically the Disney Plus panel. That's what you're calling it, for lack of a better word, because they're going to talk about all their properties. And that's probably why they push Kenobi to Friday, because they can do a panel, maybe do a preview kind of scenario off camera, yada, yada, yada. But they're doing Mando Plus on Saturday as the main stage panel. Why do I have a feeling, and this is maybe it's my midichlorians, my spidey tingles going off right now, but why do I have a feeling this is going to be like the Rebels panel in 2017, where they're going to announce this is the last season?
I mean, I don't know. I have a feeling that when something takes off in a level of success that is like gigantically higher than expected, and I would say Baby Yoda and even Mando in general, ratings wise, beat expectations. You don't pull the plug on it. In fact, I think their original plan was that it was a 2-season show, and then you pass the baton to Boba Fett. And now they were like, oh no, we have to keep going. And now we've got Ahsoka, and we had Rangers. We might not still have Rangers, but it's still building to some big finale. But like the finale,
Book of Grogu.
yeah. But even the finale, whatever that, because it's all set in the time period of the Age of the New Republic, like that finale wouldn't really be the end of Ahsoka's story unless Ahsoka's only 1 season. And I can't imagine that they're putting all this work into developing a 1-season show with Ahsoka. I think that has to be multiple seasons, as now like it's seemingly becoming a sequel to Rebels. So I'm suspicious. I think Spencer, quite the opposite. They're going to announce more seasons, and it'll be like Boba, 1 more of Boba, and like 2 more of Mando, so you get 5 Mando. Like I would think they're going to lean in that direction, especially because theatrical at the moment is on hold, right? Like we don't know anything about any movies. There's supposedly the thing with Rogue Squadron. We don't know what time period it's in or when it's coming. And then there's supposedly Taika Waititi, which has not started yet. There's a Ryan trilogy that we're never going to get. Like you got to make more streaming, right?
Yeah, we'll definitely see, what's going on there. I mean, I know that, going back to the December 10th investor relations piece that Kathy Kennedy did, and she said that it's gonna eventually culminate in a big theatrical which I think is going to be the battle for Mandalore. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm thinking
Has
putting
to
my
be.
my director hat on, it'd be the
Mhm.
all leads up to the Battle of Mandalore.
Right.
But it just scares me that they announced there's going to be a Mandalorian segment of the Disney Plus show, and then do Saturday. Saturday is Mando Plus. But hey, if you put it this way as well, if you think about it, if you're able to snag Pedro as a signer and it's able to do both panels, that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. He's probably the signer that everyone has in the highest demand at the moment.
Mhm.
Also because he's not in any licensed product. Like he's not in any Topps products. At least, actually, no, he's in a little bit of Topps products. He's in a couple card sets, but he hasn't done a private signing in a while. So I don't know. Like his autographs, I think, are still pretty rare.
Yep. Jacob said that you need to have the Russo brothers direct the final movie, which it's kind of funny considering the fact that they handle the Avengers pretty well, so they can do that. I'd actually put Filoni. I would
give
bring
it to Bryce.
Filoni in, or Bryce.
I would let Filoni
Yeah.
write it and Bryce direct it.
Yeah.
And Favreau would executive produce. There you go. There's your new Trinity, right? We always talk about the three. That's your new holy Trinity right there. It's going to be the three of them. It's Favreau, Filoni, and Bryce.
I'm okay for that. So we finished chapter 5, which he ended with Mando saying that he has to go visit his little friend, which would be very, very exciting. So moving on, it's got a little bit of a cult following, and it's going to follow Mark over to the Rebels Revisited show. But let's go to the Rubies rollout. Bring it on.
His rollout. I don't know if we'll have reveals every week on Rebels, but certainly now at Denuo, we're in the high period. Like April and May are bananas for Denuo Novo, and this week we did have our big reveal that I had promised last week. If you looked at the site on Monday or saw the IGN article, the reveal, it's Batman. We are doing the 1989 Batman cowl. And it is a very faithful recreation of the original worn by Michael Keaton in the iconic 1989 movie simply titled Batman. The first time they did a dark reimagining of The Dark Knight in theaters, and now we're 2 removed from that. It just keeps getting darker. But we love the original 1989 Batman. Denuo Novo picked up the license, partnership with DC and Warner Brothers. More content will be coming. This is our first with them. Rubies has the retail license for Halloween costumes. DC is a big part of our portfolio. We do a lot with Batman. We just did a bunch of stuff for the Batman, the Halloween costume. The cowl is awesome. If you go to denuonovo.com, we have a little banner on the front page that'll link you right to the Batman cowl. It is $950. It is limited to 500 pieces. Wow. It comes with a display base with a nameplate, and it's made of platinum silicone. And it'll be shipping in Q3, which is July through September. So we are working on manufacturing now. So that was our big news, the DC partnership, and the first item being the Batman cowl. So good stuff over there outside of Star Wars.
The big question
Austin
is,
asks if
the
we're going to be able to
same
move your
hat
neck.
size as the helmets? Does it go up to like a size 8 like their helmets do?
I will double check the exact sizing. This will be wearable. And I think we're going to do it in like closer to a large, extra large kind of size, versus like a small, medium, because you have a little more room on that. But I'll get the exact measurements for everyone. We're treating it more like a collectible, like it doesn't have sizes because, we don't think a lot of people are going to wear this. Like it's meant, it's going to be in a collector case. I know maybe you'll wear it like at home and you'll just put it on, but I don't imagine people are going to be wearing these out.
Wear it around the house. It's like...
Yeah, exactly. Like I can't imagine that people are going to be taking these, like, it's not like something for trooping, right? Like, this is a $950 collectible with a special nameplate sequentially numbered, like in a collector case.
But the
you can put it on your head,
getting
but
old.
should you?
The silicone or the plastic or whatever, the rubber that the originals are made of, it's getting kind of...
So we had one comment in the crowd asking if they're going to be able to turn their neck in the cowl, because that was the
hardly at all.
Yeah, that was the biggest argument.
I mean,
if you watch
I'm telling you now, like it is legally considered wearable, but should you? Maybe not. I
That's one of the
I don't
reasons
think
why
you
Val
should
Kilmer
drive
didn't come
with it
back.
on. Yeah. No, in all
Unless you
seriousness,
want a
like it is
Batmobile.
it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful collectible. I have not put it over my head, but like we're aware of the constraints of what that cowl is like. It is very rigid. It is, not great for peripheral vision. But yeah, so we'll probably have to put a warning or something in there as well. We're working on those little fine details, but it will be wearable.
It'll make your
Um,
voice deeper.
Yeah.
FYI, driving
Also
with
that.
one of them on might be possible.
Yeah, I don't want to see no one tell me that you're driving with this thing on. I don't want you doing that with our Halloween masks either. But
There
that
you
was
go.
that
James
was
totally will.
very exciting for us to announce because De Nuevo Novo is more than just Star Wars. And I've known that behind the scenes for a little while now, but like Star Wars has been our only public license. We've been working on this Batman thing for a little while now, and then aligned on like the timing to reveal and get our first product out. But we are working on other products for DC and Warner Brothers and some other franchises as well. So more news is always coming on the De Nuevo front. It's like it's nonstop over here. And continuing down the Star Wars beat, because I know that's what most of these people really care about the most, our Imperial officer uniforms went up yesterday in black. So we've got the tunics and the pants on pre-order, and they'll be available in Q3. And these are the classic designs. The Novos had done them. We picked up their patterns. We did actually make one small update on the chest, apparently, which I'm not wearing it, but like there's like a line like that's covered by the belt that is a seam line that I guess was in the original costume that they didn't put in because it's covered by the belt, and everyone screamed and demanded that we add the seam line. So we added the seam line. So congratulations to everyone who wanted the seam line. It is in there on the black tunic. The pants are exactly the same. They go to like some weird, the 24 inches or some weird length because we expect that you're going to wear like boots with them, to make the full look. And they've got the little ties at the end. Very cute. I tried them on and I was like, these are bonkers. Like, I just love how silly they look. Because they got the flare that they come really tight at your not ankle but like at your shin or whatever.
Like
and then our
like paratrooper jump pants or something.
Yeah, exactly. They've got the sort of parachute effect on the sides by the hips, and we've got the hats are in stock both in black and in the olive gray. And then the belts are in stock and the belt buckles. And now we've got the black Imperial officer uniforms up for pre-order. And you might see another one next week. What could it be?
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yep. Oh, and by the way, those black pants work with the Admiral Krennic outfit, which the cape and the tunic are like
for that.
Yeah, I'm so ready to get oh my God, they're like almost on the water. Lord help me. Because they deliver in Q2. And we were like so global shipping, I hate to like hide behind global shipping, but it's like a real thing. Booking containers and the amount of time things spend on the water and then sit in the port and then getting a truck to pick it up and sending it to our warehouse to then send it to customers. That process, my poor logistics people are losing their minds. Like we have Admiral capes and tunics so ready to go, and it's just getting them from Taiwan to America. So we're so close to getting, yes, I see that was so close to greatness. We are so close to greatness on these Krennic outfits.
I see what you did there. Yes. So that was awesome. Thank you very much for that update, Mark.
Yep.
I just want to plug a couple of things once again. Tuesday, May the 24th, we are going to be at the Hilton Anaheim Lobby Bar for the Not So Virtual Cantina. We're just going to have an easy night of getting to know each other. There'll be some swag given away that day, and just be a nice little, get together before all the festivities. And then the following day is the big Bunta Eve Cantina at Big's Bar and Grill from 4 to 8. It's going to be all ages, including an autograph signing with Dominic Pace from season 1 Mandalorian, Leilani and Ariel Shu from Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, Kevin Thompson and Tracy Thompson, and Tim Donaldson, who was a Jawa in episode 4. So we're going to have new school and old school Jawas. We have Jawas, and Jawas, which is going to be pretty awesome. Also, we'll have signings for books besides Kevin and Tracy Thompson. Craig Miller is going to be signing Star Wars Memories, and Rich Walski is going to debut part 1 of Today in Star Wars. It's being You can pre-order right now on their website, which is skywalkingthroughneverland.com/book. And you can actually put up, instead of having it shipped to you, they have a radio button for you to actually pick it up at Boon to Eve,
Wow.
which is actually pretty
Nice.
cool. And
That's
if
fantastic.
you pre-order it, you'll get a whole bunch of extra stuff with it. You will not get if you order it from Amazon or anything of that nature.
Very
So
cool.
please come. We are putting a lot of effort into this event. A lot of great stuff. Jeff, Dave, and I had a really good Zoom call with the DJ yesterday, and we're playing a whole bunch of stuff that's just going to make this event so much better for all of you. And just the little details that we're doing is just going to make it awesome. So please, we hope to see you there. There's a fire capacity of 500. I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to rolling 500 throughout the entire day. People coming in and out. So we'd love to see you there. Even if it's coming in for a blue milk, which we will have blue milk on sale.
Delicious.
What's going to be in that blue milk?
Uh,
Good stuff.
it's rum, blue curacao. I gotta pull up that chat now.
Oh, so it's an alcoholic drink. Okay.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Oh yeah.
We have
Back
a
in the
non-alcohol
day-
drink that's called Grogu Grog
Mm.
for the
Yes,
event.
so blue
Sort of
milk
citrus
is
taste.
rum, Coco Lopez, blue curacao, and pineapple juice,
Oh, nice.
which is the same
We were-
recipe that they have at the Scum and Villainy Cantina
And
in
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Gotcha. When I was at Star Wars weekends, so this has got to be 7 or 8 years ago, we did the brunch thing at like the sci-fi drive-in movie in Disney World.
Yep.
And they had blue milk on the menu, and it was just raspberry flavored milk. And it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
perfect. And I was so mad that when Galaxy's Edge opened up, that it was like not at all the raspberry milk. It's some like
Yeah.
non-dairy nonsense that I did not like. So I was
Yeah.
like, bring back the raspberry milk. Just put it on there.
But we
Just a
also have
simple-
we'll have
yeah.
a Mandalorian Mai Tai available, a non-alcoholic drink called Grogu's Grog, and we are renaming the Kamikaze Shot Liquid Schwartz. That's no
May the
Spaceballs
Schwartz
reference for
be
tonight.
with ya.
So it'll be a lot of fun. Jacob, you're gonna walk. I don't know if you want to walk to Fullerton. Just throw that one out.
From
there.
where is the question?
Anaheim.
Yeah, that's not a good walk. to
Not a
walk.
good idea. You'll probably get there in time for the first panel if you leave after we finish. But we're very, very excited about this event. And we're playing a lot of stuff. And also, I want to encourage you all to join us on Tuesday for the Alderaan Idol preview show. Dave, why don't you talk a little bit about what we have planned for that?
So Alderaan Idol preview is we're going to preview all the people who are going to be potentially competing for the fabulous Alderaan Idol like cup prize honor on Boon to Eve. So there's a lot of good karaoke. We're going to show you the history of Boon to Eve's previous incarnation that I shan't name, and what we've done before, and more about the plans and how big it's going to be and how cool it's going to be when we are all together in Fullerton. It's going to be great. There's going to be like live voting, so interacting with us. It's going to be a thing.
So yeah, we're trying to make it as interactive and as fun as possible. As I mentioned, it's going to be hosted by our Skywalking Through Neverland crew and myself, and Kevin Thompson is going to come in, just come say hello, talk about Boon to Eve. So we're very excited about that. That's at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. And then following that, we will have happy hour as always on Tuesday, and we will announce who's going to be in round 1 of Alderaan Idol during happy hour. So you want to watch the show, come for the fun. All good stuff. So yeah, we're getting ready right now for chapter 6, which is Mr. Filoni's episode. And this episode screams Dave Filoni. And I'm just everything about this episode is to me screams Star Wars in itself. is some of the best live action Star Wars we've had in a really long time between Bryce's episode and this episode we're about to watch right now. I don't know. I see you shaking your head, Mark. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm agreeing. I don't know. It was nodding, not shaking. My only critique is I don't know how we continue with Luke in like this format. There's only so much you can do with him. Like he's almost like a non-playable character in the video game, right? Like there's limitations. But outside of that, you suspend disbelief. I thought everything they handle in this episode with, I mean, the choice, the emotional beats. It's a great episode. And I don't want to give it away, but we should talk through it. I think if you haven't seen this episode, it is probably it's probably my favorite of the season. I think I actually like it better slightly more than 5, and then 5 would be a close second.
Dave, your thoughts on this episode that we're about to watch?
And it's great. It answers a lot of questions. I don't know that I necessarily agree with Mark. I mean, I do agree with Mark that there is limited things that you can see with Luke, but I do want to see more things with Luke. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, totally fair.
Is there stuff in there? I want to know more about the beginnings of what we see here, the Jedi Temple and that sort of thing. I want to know what goes down. I want to know, what they do there. How many Padawans do we have? Because that opens up more stories about who else is out there.
Yeah.
Agreed. Are all those people the one, his buddies, the Knights of Ren, or if they do, lots of stuff. There's lots of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say this one's like my favorite either, but I like a lot of the level of silliness and over the top of the last episode. That's where I'm gonna go with. That's my favorite of Book of Boba Fett. It's just the things that you're like, no, they're not gonna. Yes, they're gonna do it, but and then it got crazy.
I mean, next week's watch along.
Yes, watch along.
Right.
Fifth, your thoughts on this episode we're about to watch?
I love the callbacks because it was full of callbacks to prequels, original trilogy, and sequels even. So seeing things that we're familiar with in ways we hadn't seen them before, seeing characters interact or act in ways we have, which we're used to, which brings back fond, memories, things like that. The parallels between things we've seen in some of them, especially the original trilogy, and some of the scenes and the training sequences and stuff of this episode. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. It does have one of the funny things at the end is how many people were like considering their love of Luke a little differently, considering the choice he made Grogu go through at the end. Spoiler alert. So it's the first time I ever saw people posting about thinking that Luke was kind of a dick. But,
Yeah. Luke is not perfect, and he has not been studying the Force all that long. We don't give him enough, I think, credit for figuring this shit out on his own. Right. Everyone's dead. And he's like, he's trying to form a religion on his own.
Right.
Yep. And remember this. I mean, spoiler alert, he meets up with Ahsoka, who's got vast more training than he does. Mm-hmm. If you want to think about that. But so we're about to start episode 6. So had that queued up. Also want to let you guys know we are going to do a prize giveaway at the end of this episode. So thank you very much for sticking around with us. We are going to do a giveaway at the end of this episode. But let's start with a 10-second countdown for this. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Wow. Need that saber in there. Oh.
Yeah. Every time I look the same way. I will say one of the highlights of this episode is just seeing Ahsoka and Luke standing together in the same frame, because we knew that they must have crossed paths and they must have at least communicated a little bit. And it seemed like, because they weren't really doing a lot of get to know you kind of stuff, that they had already done that they had already found each other, bonded, and now they're just like sort of casually standing there like that's any old thing.
Right.
So there's a deep connection there and a respect for sure. I'm just curious as to why they don't team up more. Like I know that Ahsoka's got her specific mission, and Luke is obviously going to rebuild the academy. But it seems strange, and I got to figure out like what is going to be the answer there as to why she is not like deeply involved in the building of this school when she's the master more so than he is, for sure.
Right.
He was never really made a Jedi master, not really. Like he didn't go to the temple, no one knighted him. Yoda was like, all right, you trained for a week. Ahsoka came real close and left on her own will. Like she's probably got a better claim to being a true Jedi than he does.
Right.
See, this is the kind of tweet, if I said that, they'd come for me. Yeah. Someone's going to isolate that dialogue and be like, you're not a real fan.
Big fan.
I love the Pike.
Oh, that speeder.
Oh, Jonathan has an interesting theory. Luke is brave enough to figure out how to train Grogu, whereas Ahsoka, it would be detrimental to Grogu's development if she did. She is coming from a place that's like the structured, start of the temple, and then
Right.
she's doing her own thing. She says, I'm no Jedi. Luke almost doesn't even know better. Like he's
Well,
like, we're starting over. Like,
Well,
let's
she
do
even
it.
said in that episode in Mandalorian that there's a lot of fear in Grogu and attachment to Din
Attachment, yeah.
Djarin, and she's seen what that has done to the strongest ones out there, which she was alluding obviously to Anakin, and she's like, I've seen this before. I'm not going to do this. But we talk about Luke at this particular time. It's 5 years after Jedi. He's got the reputation of being a killer because he killed Vader. He killed Emperor in the eyes of the Empire. I mean, you see Gideon almost committing carry on the bridge right there. So
he doesn't want to go up against Luke. Yeah.
He doesn't want to go up against Luke. So Luke at this point is drinking his own Kool-Aid.
Yeah, for sure. He's got a little hubris. I also think he has good intentions. If not, meanwhile, just to jump into what's happening here with Timothy Oliphant, with the
best hair in Star
returning,
Wars.
By the way, I am obsessed with Scream. It's my favorite horror franchise. So obviously he's if you haven't seen Scream 2, he's a very important character. Not to give away any spoilers from a movie from like almost 30 years ago, but I've loved him ever since that. He's also in the Santa Clarita Diet and is tremendous in that as well. So he's having a little bit of a moment right now. I love him as this character. I don't know the character because I didn't read the book, so I didn't know anything about Cobb Vanth and had to do one of those videos of like, who is Cobb Vanth, jumping into this. But he's so good. And I love what they did with this character, and he has real integrity too. We're gonna see it. Like he lets this guy go away, and he turns down the spice. Like he could have left and just taken his money. Yeah. The ice cream maker. It's my favorite. It's my favorite prop.
And that's always a favorite celebration is the running of the hoods.
Yep. We talked about this. Someone's got to make a full scale replica. By the way, I don't think it's going to be Denuo, but maybe down the line if I can get it. If we could do it, I would do it. Like I know there are small ones out there. I want like the full size bucket. Being able to store stuff in it too.
Okay, what we think the street value is that spice that he just kicked over.
That was a lot of spice. That thing is full.
I don't know. Like, all right, let's pretend it's worth the same as cocaine, right?
Oh my God.
Let's use a drug we know. If it's worth the same as coke, did you just lose a mansion? Like, what's the quantity there? Like, I don't know what. I'm trying to find like at least 10 credits.
Space yacht worth of of spice.
There's a couple grams, a couple keys,
like a brick.
So when brick.
when Key Bump was trending on Twitter, I could not. Like, I just couldn't even get it. The dictionary had to get involved. Do you guys follow the dictionary on Twitter? I know that's so random, but like the dictionary is really good at like trolling when like public events happen and they have to tell you what a word is. Like, hi everyone, this is what collusion means. Like when the story came out about like the parties in Washington or whatever, and someone said something about a key bump, the dictionary defined key bump for everyone. It was very exciting. I was crying.
Well, it was like the day actually my mother learned about what Urban Dictionary is, and she started
God.
asking me questions, and I'm like, Mom, I shouldn't really be having this conversation with you right now.
No, don't know anything about it. Can't help you there. Oh,
So
there's
yeah,
R2.
Wow.
Dude.
Oh, that's funny.
So is R2 a robot at this point or played by a person? I think they have a fully functioning like
Actually,
droid.
so London Film and
some-
Comic-Con announced
Yeah.
the little person who is in the suit during the scene.
Okay. So there is an actor in there. Okay.
Yes.
For probably the more emotive type movement.
Yeah. I know there's usually someone in there. Obviously it was Kenny for the longest time, and then it was Jimmy.
Yeah.
I know I wasn't sure if they had recast because R2 is such an iconic character, so recognizable, and in every part of the saga. It's nice to see him pop in Mando because it was like that was one that was missing.
Right.
So so as a Rebels fanatic, were you hoping that you would hear Ahsoka say Artui?
So there are all these little things that they could easily bang us over the head with. I'm sure at this point, like she just, first it was R2, but yeah, that would have been cute. Just seeing her stand there next to Luke is like, I wanted that in animation as like the Rebel show progressed, right? Because we saw like the model of Luke in the background in that one scene
In Twin
Sons or whatever. And I was like, oh, we're never, and we saw Leia interact with Ezra and the rest of the crew, but I was like, I want to see Luke and Ahsoka. And if they do give us more of that, I'll certainly be in for more Luke, because that's fine. Him standing around talking, and especially if other things are happening and he's narrating, I'm all in for it. I'm nervous about like, I can't see this character like wield a lightsaber and do all the things. Like that's going to be hard. Like they had to do it last time with the hood and you couldn't see his face, right?
Yeah.
Like it's tricky to like even the training stuff. Like there's a lot of edits to make this believable. The puppet is more convincing.
Yeah. I love this. I love R2 just shutting himself down, and then
yeah. Just like the droid with
bench.
The droid with Boba Fett doing the same thing in the kitchen, like just turning himself off because they didn't want to answer questions. Yeah, that's great. Is that a bench?
Yep.
Yeah,
that was all over Twitter that week too.
Bench, and he's sits down, take a nap.
And then the rudimentary 3D printing that's going on in the background is fun to watch.
And the Boston Diagnostic dogs.
Yeah. Boston Dynamics. Yeah. Those are variations of those types of real world props.
How ironic is that in this scene right here, the only thing that's real is Grogu?
Yeah, it's noticeable.
If you think about it, it's so wrong in so many ways that the one thing you think is going to be real is not, and it ends up being the puppet.
Mm-hmm.
Like he looks amazing. Like Grogu looks so good, which is what almost takes away from, like, you could tell this is rendered. And by the way, it's not to put anyone down for, I know that this is challenging, and the special effects that go into this show are intense and expensive, and they're doing absolutely the best they can with this. It's not something I want to see more of, really. Like there's so many stories to tell, and I think you could capture some stuff with voiceover or whatever, and Ahsoka has a whole thing going up ahead of her. And I think what Dave was saying earlier about the other students of Luke's Academy, there are lots of stories there. And I know they're probably going to cover some of it in comics. They've done some already. I do want to see a lot of that on screen, almost like the road to episode 7. I don't know how much Luke needs to be involved. I think the kids like should have all the action, and Luke is just like sort of off in the distance doing what he does. The same way we followed like Anakin and Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, like the older people who are off in the conference room having a hologram meeting. You don't need them. Just give us the action of the characters we want to care about, and the rest of it is just set decoration. Yeah, Ben Solo comics. Yeah, I would like to see. Would you guys follow like a young Ben Solo thing? Would that be
Yes,
interesting to people?
absolutely. I mean,
I think.
there's a comic that's out right now called The Rise of Kylo Ren. That's
Yep.
absolutely incredible.
Do we think there's enough story there that hasn't been covered in the comics that would make for TV?
They've taken obscure and made it fashionable. So I have confidence they've find a way to do something like that.
Because I've heard a few things not pitched, but like rumors like young Princess Leia, which you could easily shoehorn into like Andor or, you know, whatever, or even Obi-Wan, right? Like in theory, he could run into her. And she's off doing things at like the Galactic Senate level, you know, as like a young
Right.
senator in training.
Career or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Problem you have with like young Ben Solo is the same problem we're having here with Grogu and this Luke is you're going to have some form of stand-in for Luke and Leia, maybe occasionally Han.
Yeah.
I love the little leapfroggy hurry the hell up thing that Luke's doing.
It's very cute.
I love how he talks about Yoda.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't talk, so.
How about that? He said, "Do you remember home?" And the first thing he goes to is Order 66.
Mm.
Yeah, the mind meld thing is heartbreaking.
Last thing.
I'm just like fuzzy on how he's talking to him about Master Yoda because Grogu's older than him. Grogu should have known Yoda from the temple.
Right.
Well, this seems to be the thing, right? Has he, because of the trauma, blocked out so much? But yeah, you think he would know like the one other member of a species that's there, I guess, other than Yaddle. There's 3 of them that we've met in the entire. Oh, okay, this was super cool. Now those are clone troopers, but they have 501st markings.
They're definitely 501st. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that blue. And then
That's where people think this is a temple shot because they went in with Anakin.
Yes, that makes sense. And I think people were saying the guy in the middle was potentially Sindralic, but he supposedly, according to a hologram in episode 3, is killed in a different scene.
Right.
But I'm like, okay, there could be plenty of like white men in a long robe with like relatively brownish hair running around. Like,
right.
You know, I don't think either they need to fix that potential mistake or confirm who this guy is, or if it is Sindralic, they need to explain the hologram or whatever. But either way, like 3 Jedi were just slaughtered right there. We don't know their names. We can't confirm. But on that wall, apparently, there's the symbol for Barasafi. Which is
you're
interesting.
waiting for.
Yeah, she is my white whale over here because I was like, we're gonna see her in Rebels. Didn't see her in Rebels. She's gonna show up in Bad Batch, not in season 1. Oh, she's definitely gonna pop up in Mandalorian. Not yet. we met live action Ahsoka. I wonder if she's looking for Barriss. Oh no, she's still hunting Thrawn. You know,
Mephisto.
Yeah, she's my Mephisto. Truly at this point.
All along.
Yep. All right, so here we go. Ahsoka is here to tell Din Djarin to just go away, go home.
So I don't see Rosario signing, but I can honestly see her showing up for a panel.
Yeah.
She signed autographs privately.
Yeah, I think
Um,
she probably because but the thing is that it's been basically leaked out that Rhode Island, she was supposed to be the headliner because if you looked at the lineup right there, they had the Clerks crew, they had Mandalorian, and they had two out of the three Pussycats. Rosario was supposed to be the headliner, and she canceled before they announced her.
Oh, nuts. I forgot Josie and the Pussycats. I just watched like a very silly YouTube video that like dives into like older movies and gives it like a comedic treatment of like, here's what you need to remember about this ridiculous movie and why it was ridiculous. And that movie is very smart and very meta. And it was
Yep.
not understood when it came out. I forgot how
Yeah.
good it was until we were rewatching that video. And I was like, oh, right. They were poking fun at Fame and like the way you crank out musicians and the way it's all so manufactured. Like at
Right.
one point, one of the girls is like in the bathroom and like the shower curtain is like, I think
Okay.
Coca-Cola or Target or whatever it is. It's like all sponsorship mixed into the movie, but it's supposed to be like their stuff all being sponsored. It's very smart. So everyone go watch Josie and the Pussycats next week. Let me know what you think.
Yes, but there you go. You got Din Djarin talking with Ahsoka,
16:30 for anybody who needs a timestamp.
and looking at those sabers, it's killing me that I don't have those sabers from
Yeah.
Galaxy's Edge.
They are pretty cool looking.
She did just explain why it's okay for Luke to train Grogu, and it's that she let Luke make that decision. And we're going to see that Luke is going to let Grogu make his own decision. So,
Right.
and truly, like Mando needs to let them make the decision. So, will Grogu find his way back to him? We know the answer, but like that's a pretty good lesson, right? Like you kind of have to give people like room to breathe and let them come to their own conclusion. I do enjoy the fact though that he has his little special delivery over here and he hands it to Ahsoka. He can't really trust that it's going to get to Grogu,
Yeah.
but they deliver it.
The Grogu bindle.
Coming soon to Galaxy's Edge.
I know people have acquired that fabric for other uses as well, just to have the same look without, it's like how many times you're gonna make a little bindle out of it, but where there's a scarf or some other thing.
Did they reveal what planet we're on? Or where it is? Because he just said I came all this way. I don't know where we are in the
I don't
galaxy right
remember
now.
if he said where he was going or not.
Yeah. I don't know if it's super significant. I mean, I guess it's the location of Luke's school, so we could probably like Wikipedia that info.
Right.
Assuming this is the same one, he may have done a few or changed locations.
He
No,
may
I
have
think this
franchised.
is yeah. I mean, franchise. I think was it like University of Phoenix? I mean,
Austin is saying they haven't revealed the planet.
but the thing is that
yeah.
I think they're trying to build towards what you saw being burnt down in Last Jedi. So
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. When
That's
they were
what I was
building
saying.
it, I was like, oh, it's so sad.
Very reminiscent of Last Jedi.
Yeah.
This whole scene coming up is reminiscent of, Empire. There's a lot.
oh, that was heartbreaking.
Hmm. Yeah,
Was it reaching out for Mando?
And they
came
sort
all
of
this way, and now I
miss
gotta
each other.
bail. See my
And
shit.
he's gonna look
take
and
off.
see it.
Yeah,
I mean,
but he
Grogu
doesn't
is
know-
still.
he doesn't know unless he feels somewhat through the Force.
Look at how sad he looks. This
Yeah,
puppet
he knows.
is better than every effect in the show. Like,
Did an amazing job with that puppet, that's for sure.
yeah,
And everybody
here
who's
it's like-
interacted with it says amazing.
that's what's going to
things
happen to
about
me. Eventually, I'm going to get to the point where I get to do a set visit. I'm going to talk to the puppet, and they're going to send me away to the rubber room.
Well, I still love that from Gallery season 1 of season 2, Robert Rodriguez playing guitar with Grogu's thing on the Seeing Stone, and he's just
Right.
dancing.
Singing to the puppet. I love this. He does that weird little jump and then
Austin's doing homework for us. He is digging and saying that the planet hasn't been revealed
Right.
for Luke's temple.
hmm.
So and that's the kind of thing where it's like now people are going to keep asking for it. We're going to have to find out, and then we're going to find out it's a planet that connects to something else we know because Star Wars can't help itself. So
Right.
there will be they'll announce and it'll be like it's Ilum, which was what Star Killer Base was.
Right.
I will say when I found out that Star Killer Base was Ilum, I almost fell over, and my husband was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, suspicions confirmed, like Ilum is gone. And he's like, what are you saying? Like, you're saying words that are not meant for like real world consumption over here. And I was like, you don't understand, that's where they get the crystals. And he's like, oh right, that Clone Wars thing. So he likes Star Wars, so it's not the same as like the love and the deep connection that we all have to it sometimes, where it's like there's ridiculous things happen and it's like Ilum is gone, and then they blew up Star Killer Base, it turned into a sun now or whatever it is.
Yep.
So we're never getting those crystals back. It's over.
And everything the light touches is our kingdom.
That's Star Wars adjacent right there.
Yeah.
I still
James
say
Earl
that
Jones.
I still say that someone should edit in during the Battle of Mustafar, Scar fighting Mufasa. I mean, fighting Simba over the lava.
I want to know how often Luke runs this course because he seemed very, very familiar with it. It's
Well,
like, is
we
he just
see
running around with random
we see
backpacks?
that Rey has the same kind of course set up by Leia.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say this would be around the time that he would be working with Leia still, because I think she stopped training like around this time, probably right when Ben was born. And is this the timing that Ben would have been born, or maybe in a few years? I got to get my galactic calendar in line because this is 9 ABY, and I think that Kylo or Ben is born like now-ish.
Right.
Yeah, on Yavin.
Yep.
So you just saw Grogu doing his best Daniel LaRusso imitation on the
Looks good.
log.
This looks good, by the way. The stunt work with the lightsaber here.
Yeah.
You're not seeing a lot of Mark's face. There's a lot of movement. We're showing him from behind. It's more about like the dance with the saber. That all looks really good.
Oh, the dreaded remote.
All right, Han and Leia are apparently not married yet.
Well, we know where their honeymoon is on.
Yes,
the Halcyon.
Yeah. That isn't how it works. He's like, I'm bowling, man. What are you talking about?
He's playing
Play some
kickball.
soccer.
Give me a bowling ball and I'm gonna bowl it.
I'm glad there's another one because we know that in episode 7, Finn finds it in a box on the Falcon and just tosses it. He's like,
Yeah, I love that.
Still on
moment.
the Falcon, by the way. I don't know if you noticed it when you went in Smugglers Run in Batu when you were there.
No.
If you look around on the Falcon as you're waiting to pilot or engineer or gunner, there are some interesting things, including the blast helmet with the blast shield, and in a box is the remote.
Oh, that's killer.
When we go next month, you're going to have to point it out to me.
Mm-hmm. Along with a bunch of now porg nests.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I will say the Falcon was really, really well done. And I was trying to slowly make my way through it to get as many photos as possible. Like I have a picture at the chess table,
right,
and like just in the, there's a couple of holding areas. Oh, here we go. This was cool. Like they obviously see each other frequently enough that it's not like we need to hug and have some big moment. It's just very casual and like, hey, what's
They're
up?
obviously like co-workers.
Hey, Auntie Snips.
Yeah, she's a friend from work.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Killed it. Did I do good? You taught him how to murder remote droids well.
See, this is interesting that he's remembering more than he's actually being taught. At least that's what Luke thinks. It could be that he's also learning, but
it's muscle memory kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He left this.
Grogu or a
It's a
diet.
used diaper from Grogu. He wants to give it back.
Smoker's Run versus Rise of Resistance. You can't compare the two. It's like comparing, the Space Mountain against the mine car. You just can't do it. Rise just destroys it. Rise
Big
destroys
Thunder is pretty good.
Rise destroys Flight of Passage, and Flight of Passage is amazing.
Mm. I
Yeah,
like
Rise of the Resistance. Yeah, it's like nothing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It goes on forever too. It's like 15 minutes.
And
I think it's
I'm cool, and I could have done
upwards
more.
of upwards of 15 minutes, closer to 20. But what I love about it is if you are on it in line on a day that it's operating properly and you don't have to stand too much in the outside queue, just walking through the interior is a good 20 minutes in itself. And it's all, stuff to look at and, kind of geek over. It's really cool.
Did you do any of the hacking? Because I was there with friends and
I haven't used the play app much. I know people that have done it
Yeah.
and gone through the line and have gotten, like, you can declare an alliance one way or another and get communication from like Finn or Hux or somebody.
Yep.
And kind of play around with that, which is fun.
Yeah, my friend's son is 18
go.
now. So he was the one who graduated high school, which is why we're headed there for the trip. And
Hmm.
he was hacking everything. So he was
Nice.
receiving the messages, and then you can also activate droids and stuff all
Yep,
around
yep.
Galaxy's
That's
Edge.
the cool
So he was
part.
doing all that stuff. It was very cool.
Yeah, you can make the Falcon vent steam. You can make a bunch of the different beacons make noise and light up, and control panels light up and flash and do different things.
Yeah, it was really neat.
I love how he just cruises right in. Garage doors open. I like how they retconned those doors too.
Well, no, they didn't retcon the door. What happened is that it got locked in when the Razor Crest was in there. That's Slave One, and they shoot the weight.
Right,
Yep.
but I mean the way that the door opens is different than what you see in the original trilogy.
Right.
It goes up in the original trilogy and it goes down in this. Because there's nowhere for it to go if you look from the outside. That
Mhm.
door has nowhere to kind of fold to.
I love this guy, the mayor's assistant.
Oh, yeah,
he's a
so
sassy
smart.
bitch. Like, he's just so funny. I can't get
Warm.
enough of him. And him and Amy Sedaris like go back.
Oh yeah,
and
Right.
their scenes
they
together
play off of each other. And that next episode is so much fun when they kind of
so
connect.
good. They're my favorite part of that, other than when Fennec kills everyone. But
Right.
like the two of them together just on screen is just the greatest.
Yeah, Fennec doing her thing is definitely a joy to watch.
And once again, we'll talk about this next week. But after I watched that one scene, I'm like, this is a Disney show.
We saw it in chapter 5 when Mando sliced that dude in half.
Yeah,
like
well,
in
that
the
was pretty
cold
hardcore.
open.
That's true.
Yeah.
Skewered the first guy and then chopped the other guy in
Yeah.
half. And
I
then
love
came
the-
out with his head in a bag.
The
This
jaw
is
was
such a
waving.
great reveal. Such a great reveal.
A couple of
Yeah.
episodes we saw in Mandalorian where Dad bod Boba returns.
There they
and
are
I'm like,
again.
Yep.
Beating people with the
Legend.
gaffy stick. Yeah, that was severe.
Oh yeah, that was pretty hardcore too.
Speaking of
He was
gaffy stick, how
smashing-
awesome was that gaffy stick that Tim got at that con in Australia this past weekend?
That
Right.
was nuts. Also, how'd they get
Very
that
nice.
in? I'm sure they had to go through security.
Yeah,
Sometimes
they have to do a weapons check, but it's
Yeah.
also he messes with it and it's got like a soft tip where the point would be and some other things. So it was definitely
That's
a prop version, not a practical version.
Oh, I'm
of it.
sure. And that's the kind of thing you clear with security first. I mean,
Right.
we had people coming to Sarah Michelle Gellar, and if you know anything about Buffy in the final season, there's this big axe thing that becomes like a big weapon near the
Right.
end. And we had someone bring one of those, and we had to have security bring it over to her and then bring it back out. It was a whole thing. But like, I've been at conventions where Eliza Dushku's been there, and she's Faith, the vampire slayer, right? And she has a knife. Like a good knife. And so their security bring every now and then she'd get brought like a really long knife by security for her to sign. It was a thing.
Wow. This Hmm.
Yeah, I love that he knows what it is. It's an Naboo starfighter.
Yeah. Even though most of the yellow is gone, it's still very much, those lines are hard to miss.
The deputy is your typical stupid deputy in a
Oh, I hate that guy.
that you have in a Western.
Immediately hated that guy, and
You
was
could
very
tell
happy
he had that
what
he had
happened
that
to
look
him.
about him. He had a
Right.
slappable face, was what it was.
And how about that? You have the Crate Dragon's ribs holding up the bar now.
That's
It was
great.
very cool.
Interior design.
And
I
the
love-
Weequay being played by W. Earl Brown, who is in Deadwood with Timothy.
Timothy.
Yes,
Tiffany.
Tiffany.
They
That's
think
his
you're a
sister.
Mando now? I don't know.
This is very cool with the dragon, and I love the heavy-handed nature of them rebranding themselves as Freetown. Just kills me because
Yeah.
it's so Star Wars. But I love that. I was like, that's exactly what the town would do after they worked together and
Liberated
made this thing
themselves.
happen. Yeah.
Mhm. What?
He's right though. Like they're fine right now, but it's not going to last. It was the same thing with the Empire. You couldn't let them. You can't appease. Appeasement
sleep
doesn't
on that.
work. Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the crate dragon on top of the sand crawler. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. The
Thank
jaw
you,
was up
Jonathan,
there.
for pointing that out. We just glossed right over that. That's a great moment. It's so stupid looking. I
The
love it.
reveal is amazing because it's a close up of the skull with some ropes on it, and then all of a sudden you back out and it's 40 feet in the air or whatever.
Super dangerous too. I mean, you've seen idiots like put a lot of stuff in the back of their pickup, and it's like that's gonna fall. Like this looked
Yeah, it
equally
did.
precarious the way that giant skull was just attached to
So
to the sand
I
crawler.
see-
I was like,
I
this is
see
not
things
great.
I see things on the back of a pickup truck. I'm always thinking of Final Destination. So I'm
Right.
always trying
Yes.
to do that. But could you imagine
Yep.
if you see a big effing skull on top of like a pickup truck? No.
Not going anywhere near any of that. The
Somebody
Jawas are
needs
not
to
to be
do
trusted
that.
for the most part anyway. But
Right.
although I guess with Peli now, if you know Peli, you could go be friends with Jawas. But in
Right.
general, you keep your distance.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Or
Kuel
Amanda, or
was
Dan,
was
yeah.
pretty good with them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got this like accidental charisma where like he's really comes across as like gruff and like and doesn't want to do anything, and whenever there's like a side quest he sort of huffs and hums about it, and then like he doesn't
Goes
want the
above and beyond.
responsibility. Yeah, and then he like over delivers and makes all these friends and has these like
Yeah.
accidental alliances. He must
Right.
have like accidental force or something where it's like,
Yeah.
how did you convince everyone to become
Oh,
part of your
yeah.
like fan club? Like
Yeah.
everyone loves the Mando.
This is
So
amazing. This
how many
reveal-
else? Yeah, how many else people lost their shit when they see the silhouette? And it's
To
not
say
the
the least.
Undertaker.
You know who it is. That hat. Even
I
with
know.
the scaled down
With the
hat, which
duster.
they did make canonical by changing it in Bad Batch first, like I guess chronologically. Like you know who that is. There's
Right.
there's no doubt.
It's so very apparent.
That's one person that people keep on saying that they would want Corey Burton, but he'll
Yeah.
never do a con.
Mm.
He's doing one private signing, and I think it's
Yep.
the first time he's done one in like certainly the entire time I've been a licensee. I can't tell you how many times we contacted him to do a signing, and he just wasn't into it. So
Yeah,
I
I'm-
get it. It's not for everyone.
I'm having him put on my my Fett poster
Nice.
because I have to.
Yeah, I would rather
very
get him on
big
something
part of it.
Clone Wars
Mhm.
since he was like such a huge part of that. But I get it. Yeah,
It was amazing.
look at how good this design is. I mean, this is animation taken to live action. I know there were some people
Legacy
critiquing
effects.
the exact like
Yeah.
proportions,
Coloring.
but he looks so
And the
good.
color's off a little bit, but it's like
Yeah, but the thing is,
how it's
they're saying the
right
same
at
shit
sun.
about the Inquisitor right now. From
Yeah.
the trailer of Kenobi.
People are gonna shit on everything until they see it, and then they'll shit on it some more. But it'll be awesome.
I am curious as to if the Grand Inquisitor that we saw in the Obi-Wan trailer is the same Grand Inquisitor from Rebels, or if that's a title and this happens to be the guy who's the Grand Inquisitor at the moment, because they look really different. I'm
Right.
Yeah, they do kinda
questioning
have
that one.
different overall look, but
You can definitely see Fifth Brother. You know that's Fifth Brother.
Yeah,
Yeah, those
we know
guys-
that's him. He's pretty close.
Yeah.
I will say this is done. If we're going to start ranking like executions, Ahsoka's at the top. Cad Bane is a close second. The Inquisitors do fall a
Yeah.
little bit lower, but we've only seen a couple clips of them, so we'll see.
We got Cad
Look how good
Bane.
this guy looks, though.
We-
This is great.
We got Cad Bane. We need live action Hondo.
yeah.
Yes, which we see in Galaxy's Edge, so it's not
Yes.
a jump to
No.
like get him into one of these
They've
shows.
actually
He's
had
everywhere else.
an actor in the costume for like when they opened Galaxy's Edge and did some of those little events that they do there. So it is definitely something that's not that far off.
I hope they do it because I think Hondo's an excellent character. I loved him in Rebels. He was great in Clone Wars. I was like, oh, you'll never top that. And then everything he does with Ezra is just
Yep.
bonkers in Rebels.
The first time I met Jim Cummings, I had the Hondo pop just came out. And I had him write, "They do fly" for the last
Mhm.
episode of Rebels. Because I was like, that is awesome. Because if you don't get that joke, it's like it goes right over your head. But
Mm.
it's so awesome. And he's going to be a terrific kind of Mohegan.
Jim Cummings.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the circuit pretty frequently. And
Is
and
that-
well worth it. Like if you're able to do it, go meet him.
I am. They have a bunch of animation. Star Wars, and Phil Lamar's going to be there too.
Love him. Love him. He's great.
I
too.
need him on a bunch of Book of Boba Fett stuff now that he's done 2 characters.
So many different. Yeah.
Yep.
I hate this sidekick guy. Yeah. He
The guy
really
that looks like Cyclops.
No.
That's what you call a red shirt.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, you're dead.
Oh,
And look at that.
Yes.
He was able to shoot Vance and shoot Homeboy before Homeboy could even try to pull his gun
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. By the way, I love the Pike Syndicate. I know that's really random to say right now as they're like going
No.
around killing our favorite people. As a group, I think they're a really exciting crime family. Obviously we
Yep.
saw them running this show in Solo and they were part of Clone Wars and they've got an interesting character design. And
Yep.
They're obviously like the sort of secret villain of this season. As behind the scenes, but first we meet all these like lower end villains, and then it turns out they're like the big bad behind the mayor. I want more of them. I hope we get more of them in the next season. And yeah, eventually I want to get to Crimson Dawn. I would like to see.
Oh, yeah,
that
I'm
be
a
the
huge
buildup
Crimson
of
Dawn.
this. Yeah,
So
but look
there's
at that character design.
Uh-oh.
This is so cool.
Jennifer Beals.
There's Chris again.
And there's Chris Bartlett.
Oh, there he was. Yay.
And there's Leilani.
Yep.
Oh, that's
There's a
awesome.
little alien dude at the table.
And there's the 1980s bowling game, the Tecmo Bowl.
And there's Flashdance. Oh wait,
Yep.
sorry.
So I love the fact that once again, Max
And
Rebo
Another rep.
leaves and is not
He was
killed.
on a smoke break.
And I was
Is
talking
he
about this-
in on it?
well,
Ooh.
and here's the thing about this: what's going to happen is the second biggest terrorist act that we've seen in the saga, besides the blowing up of Alderaan. Like you have a flyby drop bomb, like literally you're dropping a bomb in the middle of a bar.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's civilians, right? So if we're
Like
thinking
putting
about
a proton torpedo down a thermal exhaust port.
I don't look at that as a terrorist act.
So definition of terrorist would be targeting
Anti.
civilians, right? So the Death Star is a military base. So
Yes.
Kablooey, we're covered. It's not a war crime. This is a war crime. Trying to think of other examples like Alderaan being blown up. And actually, if you look at Rogue One, when they test the Death Star on Jeddah,
Yeah,
it's civilians also.
yeah,
So it would be Alderaan, Jeddah, and now this thing. So
yeah. Okay,
Civilian contractors on the second Death Star. Same.
okay. Thank you,
There-
Randall and Dante.
Exactly.
everyone's in some type of military looking uniform. That actually is a great like moral question though, right? Like, because every government has, bad things about it, and every government has a military. Like, you know, there are plenty of people who joined who just worked
Yeah.
for the government, right?
So cute.
And ended up like sort of accidentally part of the empire. Maybe they started working in the government when it was the Republic, and they
Right.
didn't know that they were evil.
Right.
They were just like, oh, they're the police, they're in charge, this is the government. And then all of a
Management
sudden
changed
it's like, oh,
and
blown
they
up on my
kept
Death
their
Star.
job.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
how
exactly.
how about this retcon right here of the comic books when Yoda's lightsaber was destroyed in the Senate room in the comics, but yet it's here right now.
Yeah,
Well,
and
Maybe he had a backup.
yeah, more than one.
Oh, we forgot about Star Killer Base blowing up an entire system of planets. So
Oh yeah.
thank you in the comments for that. Yeah, I don't know about the Yoda lightsaber thing. I feel like they fixed that somewhere because that was a discourse on Twitter when this came out, and someone was like, no, this happened. And I can't keep track of that stuff. Like, even
Right.
as a licensee, I'm not really a story licensee anymore. So when things like that pop up, I'm kind of like, either it's wrong, and they'll retcon it at a later date, or there's already like a piece of information out there that's just a little bit obscure that fills it in. And like, I don't know, Alex Damon will find us the way. Like, honestly, I'll just go to him and be
Right.
like, what happened here? Go to his Q&A at each week. I'm sure like enough people ask and someone will answer it. I will say this scene indicates Luke's naivete in
Right.
how to run this thing.
Absolute
Because he
scan.
does,
So,
yeah, he offers him sort of, it's a choice, but it feels like an absolute. I actually think it's the right thing, though. I think that like Luke could, in theory, say, yes, you can train with me and you can also be a Mandalorian, but like you really have to commit to be a Jedi. Like
Right.
it's a
Yeah.
deep commitment, and he wants to rebuild
Right.
the thing that he thinks is the Jedi, which is like a deep commitment. He's been reading the books. He's finding out is like, okay, there was a temple. It's kind of like church, like you have to attend. Like this is discipline, all the stuff he didn't have. So you can't just sort of like half-ass it. But if you're not ready to commit to that, let me send you back to dad. Like, I don't think that that's unreasonable, but I understand why people reacted so poorly to that.
Right.
But I also think it's right on. I think Luke is coming from a good place with that, even if it's not necessarily executed correctly.
mm-hmm.
So great episode. I wish this was almost like the last episode of the season, just because of where we go with the next episode, which we'll see next week. But still very good. So we are coming up on the last episode of the Path of the Darksaber, which has been an absolute treat and a lot better than I had actually anticipated when we were originally talking about. So it's been so much fun. And I want to mention that in 2 weeks, we are starting Finding Kenobi, when we're going to, we're going to be watching all the prequel movies, as well as selected Kenobi episodes of Clone Wars and Rebels, leading up to Twin Suns just before Celebration, which is going to be absolutely incredible. Very excited about that. Austin, thank you very much for the comments. I say you haven't attended a live show before. Bravo. I'm glad you enjoyed that. So please join us in 2 weeks when we start Finding Kenobi, which is very awesome, and all that. But trivia time, and this is open to anybody that's in the chat, including the mods. And it's going to be the answer. The answer is the first person that Mark sees on the screen with the right answer.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm watching.
So it's not.
I'm watching
so it's
closely.
not me. Yes. So the question is,
Jeff's getting out the phone. I might have to too. Wait, no, we already know what.
This is going back to the lore of the Darksaber. So I want to see if you've been paying
Oh yeah,
attention
we
the
already
last
know
couple of weeks.
the answer to this one.
Who
We hadn't talked about it.
Who was the first Jedi Mandalorian who designed and crafted the Darksaber?
The spelling count?
No. If they don't do cursive in school anymore,
Yep.
spelling doesn't count.
Half right. Uh-oh.
Oh my God, people don't know.
Oh, the people.
Oh man.
There are 4 wrong answers in a row.
There we
Okay,
go.
5. All right, Jonathan
Notman got it.
Notman,
Not
Tar Vizsla.
Good job, Notman.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Also, to the rest to the rest of you, how dare you? And then to Jonathan, congratulations. Yeah.
Lila had an
That was-
excuse.
That was mentioned in content we watched tonight.
Yes.
I also
They even
said
said
it
it
in the
earlier.
I said it in the beginning, knowing that it was a thing. It's
Exactly.
okay. But by the way, we're thrilled that anyone's paying attention at all and engaging in the
That's
conversation.
really
This is thrilling. So this has been I gotta say, this has been really fun, you guys. I can't believe it's almost over. It's kind of crazy.
It's been absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed this. And so yes, we're going to be finishing up next week, and then starting Finding Kenobi. But once again, remember, RSVP for the Ubuntu Eve Cantina. We want to see all of you there, and make sure you tune in on Tuesday for the I'm gonna get sued again. Alderaan Idol preview show.
And
The
the kicker there is again.
Yes.
Exactly.
Awkward. So you're a fake fan. Yes, you're a fake fan. You pink hatter. So it's gonna be great. But Mark, anything you want to say before we close out tonight?
Yeah, this has been really fun, and I love the idea of thematic watch-alongs. It's something I'm even thinking within Rebels, we might do like a mini batch of something, based around a theme like this. Yeah, like there are all sorts of silly things we could jump into, like like story arcs. So this has been super fun. Again, thank you for having me, and to everyone watching along and playing along with our silly theories and all of that. My last thought on this episode is like, there's obviously it's setting up for the Boba Fett finale. It doesn't feel like it's setting up for the Boba Fett finale. It feels like it's just building toward much bigger things that are coming our way. And the Boba Fett finale is just like a small step on where we're headed in the giant lore of Mandalorian, which is why more and more I think there's like an endless supply of content coming that's Mando focused. We'll include Ahsoka. We'll probably tie to Luke, and we'll eventually connect the bridge to the new trilogy. So that we're headed in that direction, which is very exciting. So I'm all in for the content we're getting.
Well, Filoni, Favreau did say before season 1 is that this is all going to branch from the OT to the sequel trilogy. So you're starting to see like the Easter eggs and the seedlings, if you will, of the First Order and what's going to happen with Snoke and all that jazz. I mean, we saw in season 2 Mandalorian, you had a little bit of Snoke's theme playing when you saw the clone. So, which is actually kind of nice little Easter egg in there. But Jeff, anything before closing?
It's been lots of fun, like Mark said. I'm glad you came and joined us for this journey. It'll be a sad day next week when we finish this up, but then we have more stuff coming up in the near future, so that's great. But these couple of episodes were amazing in their own right, and best episodes of the Book of Boba Fett are Mandalorian based episodes of the Mandalorian. I look forward to the next episode. There's a lot of fun stuff that goes on in that one, and we only have one more to go, so it'll be a shorter watch along next week, but it'll be just as fun and a little bittersweet to end it.
Yep. Dave.
Well, I'm not gonna say goodbye in tears and sadness. I'm gonna go with this is the path of the Darksaber so far. Mark, you're gonna have to come back when we get like Mando season 3 and we see
for sure
where this is going beyond, because the Darksaber's not done. This is gonna be, it's leading up to more Star Wars content and things that we're gonna have to see. So I'm excited to see that coming forward, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. If you want me back to guest for anything, especially to continue this series, I do think on our final episode next week, our final for now episode next week, we should place our bets as to who is going to get the Darksaber next. Like, who will it go from Din to whoever, even if it's temporary? Like, will Bo betray him like temporarily and she'll have it for a minute, or does it go to Grogu? I'm gonna make a swing, and because I'm Team Rebels all the way, I'm saying now it's going to Sabine. Sabine
I was,
Wren,
I'm,
that's my girl.
I'm actually with you there. I'm actually
Now
Yeah.
that would be a segue if they roll in a live action Sabine for us in.
But people were looking at that, and when they were when we saw
Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks' character. So yeah.
They did cast someone else recently,
Yes.
who
Oh yeah, that's right.
has the look of Sabine, and they were suspecting it's her, but there's no guarantee, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
you could be any, so I would love a live action Sabine. I hope with the Ahsoka live action show, that's one of the characters they bring in, along with Ezra, along with Thrawn.
Right.
I
Jason's
want to see
Spectre.
Hera.
I want to see Spectre 7.
Oh, Harry,
Yes,
yes.
Jason Sindula needs to be, by the way, he needs to not attend Luke's school. We need to shut that shit down right away. But like Jason Sindula is obviously going to be very force sensitive and an amazing pilot and clearly involved in the resistance because Hera is in episode 9, supposedly.
Yep.
So she's still alive
right.
and still at war. It never ends, right? So
They called her on the street on the loudspeaker in
Aaron.
Yavin during Rogue One.
Yep, in Rogue One. So I actually think if we think about like Kenobi and started making a list of characters we could potentially see, Harrison Dula would be on that list. Kanan Jarrus would be on that list. Like Cal Kestis, obviously, there's a bunch. But even in this time period, in the rise of the New Republic era, Hera could be there. Obviously, Kanan's dead, but like Hera's around. I would love
General Sadula.
Yeah,
Generals.
yeah, and Jason. So I'm
Absolutely.
in for that. All right, so Sabine
Awesome.
Wren for the win.
Absolutely. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Congratulations to the governor for winning that. I'll get a prize out to you next week or so. So we'll see you next week. Don't forget, on Sunday is another episode of the Jedi Archives, which is our High Republic comic book show. And also, the Alderaan Idol preview show on Tuesday. So from Mark, from Jeff, from Dave, this is Spencer saying, may the force be with you.
This is the way.